Hi guys, this is Ted White, and you're listening to The Skeleton Crew.
Oh good, Jason, Ted's here. Hey Ted? Ted, hey Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew? Oh God! Oh my face! My hand! Oh God! Guys! Oh, look what Ted did to me! He's killing me! Why are you laughing? Why are you so funny? Oh, Jimbo. Oh, thank God, Jimbo. Oh, you're the only normal one in here.
I said that I wanted to talk to you for a second.
Talk to me about what? I have a machete in my face. Well, spit it out. I'm getting a little woozy here.
Was I a dead fuck?
I'm gonna be a dead fuck if you don't get me to the hospital, you asshole. Alright, let's see if tonight was really the failure night I thought it was. Let's see, I'm gonna run it through the old computer and see what it comes up with.
He sounds like a dead fuck.
What? A dead fuck?
Yes, dead fuck.
This is ridiculous.
A lousy lay.
Oh, just give it to me straight, I can handle it. You know, there's no such thing as computer intelligence anyway, so...
And there is no DJ Betty either.
You son of a bitch.
You are listening to The Skeleton Crew. Alex is a dead fuck just like Jimbo.
You're listening to The Skeleton Crew exclusively on horrorbit.com and the Horrorphilia Podcast Network.
All right, all you Skeleton Crew, thrill me, you sons of bitches.
Big fan of your show. Me and the other guy who listens. I think it's fantastic.
Oh no! No, we have no suits! Oh, sorry guys, these chicks, really hot chicks, just wanted to go skinny dipping. I had to tell them, no, we got a show to do, and I have no suit, so.
Twins.
Oh my God, look at the pack of patooties on, wait, how's it go?
Patootsies. Some pack of patootsies, huh?
Hey Trish, party tonight!
Did that guy come off creepy, the guy with the slingshot, when he was fucking with that girl? Like, all those looks he gave was just like, like, insert 80s look here.
In what movie?
Friday 4.
Friday 4?
Huh?
Are you mixing part 2?
Oh!
Dude, that's Scott!
Yeah, right?
He's right. He's right.
Oh, that is part 2! Holy shit.
And these people are depending on your analysis of this movie. Listen, Friday 4 is really good. I think Demon is the best character in it.
I fucking hate you. Hey man, I worked a long day. I don't know what's going on right now.
Well, we're gonna get into the final chapter, how Steve Christie wanted to start the camp up again, how Megan's father was the sheriff, and you know, how Rennie and Statue of Liberty necklace, and then that weird telepathic chick is just really weird in this movie. I don't know, but
nothing.
And then after Tommy Jarvis kills Jason, that worm crawls out of his mouth, and they freeze him. And then Freddy comes around. All right, Dan. Get out of here. All right, yeah, so guys, we're back. Really big show. How often does Jason Voorhees himself come on to a radio show that's based on horror?
That's not Kane Hodder?
That's not Kane Hodder.
Oh, it never happens.
Yeah. If Kane Hodder was here, I would love to tell him how much I appreciate his passion for that character, too.
Yeah, do we really hate Kane Hodder as much as we play it up to be, really?
I don't hate him. I hate half of his movies.
Him playing himself on Holliston recently, I think he fucking killed it. And it shows he's got a sense of humor, so...
Dude, I'm just mad that he choked me out.
Well, after what you said to him, I would too.
See, he actually referenced that on the Holliston Season 1 called, what was that called, dude? The one where they go to the convention, the horror convention? I think it was called Horror Convention.
Was it? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. He said, oh, sorry. No, he was talking about that in the behind the scenes on the Holliston Blu-ray. And he said, you know, sometimes when he punched out Joe Lynch, he goes, in the interview, he's like, yeah, you know, I've been to a lot of conventions. Most people are nice, but some people are really, really offensive to me. And I swear, like, my whole life just flashed before my eyes. I was like, he's talking about me.
And what exactly did you say? Just so, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, what did you say to Kane Hodder? He's not, like, that bad, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
My friend was getting his pictures signed, and I already met Kane Hodder. I already got, you know, all that stuff. So I decided to get deeper into the conversation this time, and I said, so what do you think about the new Friday the 13th remake, man? And I forgot what he said, and then I go, then I don't know how it led. Something led to him being in it, and then I go, really? You really think you should have been in that? And then he just looked at me and just stared for like 3 seconds, and I was just looking at him. And then I just looked at my friend, and then my friend goes, okay, so do you want to take a picture? And he goes, yeah, I'll take a picture of your friend too. And I was like, oh, I already have one. He goes, that's all right.
So he wanted to fucking choke your ass out.
Yeah, I should have realized that pose he does when he said that. And then I just walked over, and then he strangled me. And it really hurt. And then he said, take another one. I said, no, it's fine. I didn't blink.
Kane Hodder, man, this is his whole life, dude. He's like, I am Jason. He's got Jason on his fucking inner lip, and he's just, Alex, you really think...
Well, why does he think he should have played him in the remake?
Yeah, but it's just like, to me, it's just so funny because it's like, okay, yeah, you can see that, but you just saying that to him, like, yeah, nice to meet you. Well, why do you think you should be? It's just so
I think I said it more nicer. I was probably like, you really think you should have been in it?
Right.
I think I said it like that.
I think I may have liked it if he were in it.
No, Derek Mears did good.
I did not like Jason at all in the remake. Not at all.
No?
No.
That's weird.
Because I didn't like anything about that movie. But
I
don't like, he's all like hippity hopping around like Ninja Jason. Like he just pops up everywhere but in weird places. Like, I'm on the roof. You know?
Yeah, that's weird. Oh, but hey, we're about to review a movie that just did that, Jamie. So let's not get too judgmental about that.
Oh, yeah.
And that was probably an homage.
It's an homage.
Oh.
Or a homage. What's it called? Homage?
Homage.
Or a
You
hemorrhage.
can say homage, or you can say homage. I say homage.
Say homage. Don't say homage.
Homage. I like homage. From now on, everybody say that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the official Skeleton Crew pronunciation.
Yep. We got our drinks, our food, our breakfast, our words. We have Mademoiselle. Oh, by the way, let's talk about real quick. Mademoiselle and Dave Z. They just released Banana Laser #1. It was about Motel Hell and the Funhouse, and then they had Terror Dome. Check that out. It's on Horrorbid, iTunes.
That episode was hilarious to this one point where Matt does the more you know segment. Doo-doo-doo. Like, it's so fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah, check out that show, dude. It's those guys are awesome, dude. I'll just say that. So check that out and you'll see why.
I like when Dave's talking about he's walking around in his Michael Myers mask and his daughter is the Scream for Halloween and he can't even see out of it. And he's in the middle of the night in the streets walking around with it. I've done that, man. I used to go out as Frankenstein every year because I was trying to be different. When all my friends moved on to do all the slashers of the 80s and stuff, I still, like, rock the Frankenstein mask.
Yeah, dude, I do that too, man. One year, this is so, I swear to God, Alex, I'll find a picture too. One year, I went as a banana. Just because, like, I'm known as, like, oh, yeah, Dan loves horror movies. I'm like, fuck this, I'm going as a banana.
I went as a chunk of cheese.
Exactly.
And a postage stamp that I made myself.
Did you have a rat hanging from the cheese?
No.
You should have had the rat's ass and his tail out of, like, the end of it.
I didn't even think of that.
That's such a defensive...
Oh, a dollar bill I drew, and I made that one, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, you were a dollar bill?
Yeah. I always make my costumes. I've been all kinds of crazy shit. I was a piece of gum under a table one year.
What?
Alrighty then.
I wore all pink, and I constructed a table out of a pizza box and some paper towel rolls, and I painted them brown. And then I put a little piece of cloth on top for a tablecloth, and then I glued a vase to it with some flowers sticking out, and I strapped it to my head.
You were weirder than anybody ever knew.
That was just a few years ago. I wasn't a kid.
Well, everybody does shit like that, like hardcore.
I don't.
Horror fan. You just said you did. You went as Frankenstein.
A piece of gum?
No, I'm saying go with...
Oh, Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like going against the norm, dude.
Frankenstein's a lot different than a piece of gum. Try to divide these sentences up, Dan. We're still in the gum conversation. Go ahead.
I thought you knew what I was talking about. I thought.
No, I'm still on the gum.
I thought you... Yeah, you kick it off. You kick it off at
Come
like
on,
that.
that's a clever costume.
Why didn't you dress up as a gigantic shoe with toilet paper sticking to the bottom of it?
I have not done that yet.
Oh, my God. Well, yes, Banana Laser. Check that out, guys.
Yeah, well,
It's on Horrorphilia, iTunes, YouTube, horrorbid.com. Let's go. Okay. So, everybody, we want to thank everyone from the top of our hearts for all the nice things that you guys said about the Adam Green interview. It is known as the greatest we've ever done.
well, I want to thank him from the bottom of our hearts, personally.
I thank you for my aorta.
I still can't get over that fucking interview, man. I had so much fun, dude. And, yeah, man, you killed it. You were fucking on fire in that one. And
Oh, you were.
No, you are. But, I think...
Guys, you can stop sucking each other's dicks.
Dan, compliment me and I'll compliment you.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, all right. I'll go, you go. Ready? From Alex, like, hating Adam Green from the first one. Because, no, he didn't hate him, but I remember for the first time, dude, I was so excited and nervous. Alex gets on and goes, oh, Jesus, fucking Adam Green.
It was the show's first interview, and it was Adam Green. I was like, well, what are we going to talk to him about?
And we were trying to set everything up and make everything right. So we were not stressed out, but we were, you know, it was our first interview, so we didn't want to fuck it up. And you were just like, oh, Jesus Christ. So, but yeah, from there to here, though, man, it's fucking like night and day, dude. It's like...
Oh, God.
Because I think you watched, obviously, you know, Hatchet a lot more, and then you finally got into Holliston, thank God, which is the fucking greatest show ever.
No, dude, that interview got me into Holliston.
So besides that, though, that was part of the fucking, that was part of the key part of the transformation. So, yeah, man,
Yeah.
I was fucking pumped, dude. That was, like, okay, it's been a little while since it's happened now, too, but I seriously think that's my favorite interview, too.
You used to say that about the first one we did with him, and I said to you, Dan, that was like our worst interview. We were so stiff, the questions were so, okay, thank you. Next, what do you think? Ba 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 ba. Then he answered. Then we went to thank you. Next,
Right.
Like that's how that was. And to me, I didn't get what you were liking about that. And you know, that was the first one, dude. We were nervous. It was our first time completely alone, except for I did 2 interviews alone, which I do want to eventually play to everybody. But one day we'll put those on the show. I think for a first interview, man, it wasn't that great.
It sucked.
It sucked, and, you know, you could tell because, like, Ryan Lewis, our good friend, he just interviewed Adam Green, and he did a great job. So it only goes to show you that you don't always suck the first time you try something.
And it was his first time doing an interview, too.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird, dude? That was our first, and that was...
Yeah, but, dude, I prefer to suck on when I start things out. I shouldn't... Anyone can isolate that?
Yes!
Oh, God.
That'll make up for my fucking stupid shit I said earlier in the show. But
imagine if somebody says, do you prefer to suck dick or eat pussy? And I go, I prefer to suck. No? Okay, good. I'm glad it doesn't work. Okay, so anyway, I like the contrast of that, and then you listen to this one.
Oh, dude, that's the whole fucking thing, man. Yeah.
I love it. It's time to talk to Jason Voorhees himself. Ted White. Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Dan, do you see him? Jamie, look out the window. Wait, Jamie, where are you going?
No.
What are you doing? Stay. You're leaving? Jamie.
Gary!
Come on, he doesn't really kill people.
He gets 1 out.
Why are you leaving again? I don't get this. You left when Adam Green came in and he drugged you and stuff, and now...
Man, I saw his interview when he was on Arsenio Hall, like back in the day. He is scary.
Oh. Well, unfortunately, the microphone we're going to have Ted White on, it's going to sound really tinny and crumbly like a phone.
Right.
But he's actually coming into the dungeon, just like Adam Green and Adrian King.
Yes. Right, of course.
Matt Wiesel came in. Okay, this is going nowhere.
I see Alex and Dan.
Jamie, you look so good today.
Aww.
Why am I surprised?
Thank you. What are you trying to kiss up for?
I just want you to hear some of these interviews that you keep leaving for.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll stay. I'll stay, but I'm going to be in the corner.
Oh, here he is. Ted White. Here he is. He's coming.
All right. Well, we'll be right back. We'll get Ted situated here. I mean, Jason. We'll get Jason Voorhees situated, and we'll be right back. As the story goes, one day in 1957, Jason drowns in the lake at the young age of 11. The counselors ain't hear nothing. They were too busy fucking. He gasped for his last breath, trying to reach for something. That was all they saw. This kid was reported drowned. They searched Crystal Lake, but his body was never found. Mommy broke down and cried. Her only son died. Why little Jason? That's all she had in her life. But Mommy just snapped. She said, I'm getting him back. Time heals all wounds, but she never could adapt to the fact her baby boy is never coming back. Those two responsible assholes had better watch the back, but they didn't. The bodies are laying in the mud. I'd like to welcome you all to Camp Blood. It's only time they find out what it's all about. Now it's time, it's lights out, and no one's getting out, bitch. Right. The Skeleton Crew. Ted, it's really great. It's really an honor to talk to you. Dan and I are really big fans, and your body of work is incredible. You've worked with some of the greatest in Hollywood, Clark Gable, John Wayne, Rock Hudson, and Corey Feldman. And that must be...
You put Corey Feldman with them? Well, Corey, that's quite an honor, Corey. You've got bestowed upon you.
John Wayne and Corey Feldman.
Yeah, right. Corey comes back to his kneecap.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, we were talking about that when Corey Feldman walked up to you and hit you in the head with the machete. He grew about 4 feet tall at that point, I think, right?
Yeah, well, he was looking forward to that through the whole movie, and Corey and I were like oil and water.
Really?
Every time he got around me, he was very mischievous, and he found some ways to torment me. And because I only had one eye, he would get on my blind side and either stick me with a sharp stick or hit me on the back and then run. And consequently, I got into a hate-love relationship. Every time he'd get close to me, his mother would say, stay away from Ted completely. But he'd get close to me, and if I'd catch him just right, I'd pinch him, and he would just cry and run to his mother. And he said, I told you to stay away from Jason.
Wow.
He's such a tough guy on film.
Well, yeah, I run into him in Chicago last year and at a convention. and I had not seen him since we'd worked together on Friday the 13th. And he came over and had his hand out, and he said, "It's all forgotten." And I said, "It was never even mentioned, Corey." I said, "How are you?" And people come running over and start taking pictures of the two of us together.
I would.
And he's all grown up, and he's a nice young man.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be the first one snapping those pictures, Ted, because I don't know what it is about 4. Well, there's a lot of things about Friday the 13th Part 4 that everybody loves. I know it's definitely me and Alex's favorite. It's definitely up there. What is it to you that you think separates that movie from the rest of the series?
Well, I can only tell you what my part was in that, if I had a part in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I had never done Friday the 13th, nor had I ever seen one of the movies. And when they hired me, I said, "Well, guys, I think I better take a look at some of this stuff and see what Jason does." And so my son, being a horror fan, my youngest son, had several films, and I looked at 2 or 3 of them. And I watched how Jason moved and so forth, and I kind of made up my mind of that I was going to do a little bit different. And in as much as when I was on the set, I spoke to nobody in the cast whatsoever, and I sat way away from them. And I made that a habit every day. And the first week, Joe Zito was our director.
Yep.
He went to the producer, and he said, "What's wrong with this guy, Ted White?" And he said, what do you mean? He said, "Well, he doesn't associate with anybody. And he's off by himself, and it's like he's a big star and doesn't have time to talk to the cast and this and that." And so Mancuso Jr. was the executive producer, and he said, "I think you would just better leave Ted alone. He's worked on some big movies, and he knows his way around the set, and you won't have any problem with him. I think you've got an idea of what he's trying to do." And he said, "Well, so far this week, we've watched him do some action stuff, and he doesn't move like the other Jasons." And he said, "In what respect?" He said, "Well, he's not moving with that Boris Karloff type." He said, "Like we've always thought we'd have. Mm-hmm. He's moving just like a regular man. He's running." And he said, "Well, we're watching the dailies, and we kind of like what he's doing." So that was somewhat of a theme that carried on throughout the movie, and that's the way I played it. And the only time I talked to the cast was when we had one of those things to do where I'm supposed to be killing him, and I had to make them feel very comfortable in the fact that I wasn't going to hurt anybody.
Right.
I'm 6'4", and at that time was 230 pounds, and I just talked to him, and when I got him to relax, that's when we got the best performance out of him.
Nice.
Yeah, you did an amazing job. We always felt you were more like visceral and brutal and menacing as Jason. And I'm glad that you took that approach. And I don't know, did you watch any of the other Friday 13ths after yours once you realized you're part of such a big thing, or no?
No, I didn't. I've met all of them, fortunately. What a bunch of nice guys. And, you know, we lost one recently. And,
yes.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, no, I've met them all and worked with all of them on different occasions. We've had 4 or 5 of us together. One time we had all of us together here in Los Angeles. All of them nice guys, every one of them. I mean, they're just a wonderful... But just speaking of nice guys and so forth, I have to say this. And I'm not saying it in a braggadocious way, but I have done a lot of major motion pictures.
Right.
And I've gone on speaking engagements in regards to these motion pictures that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say this without any reservations whatsoever. The people that I have met on these various shows that I've gone through, these conventions where I'm signing autographs, have been, without a doubt, the nicest, most polite people I have ever met. Anything concerned with the motion picture business, they outrank them 110%.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you what, the tattoos,
yep.
All of it doesn't make a bit of difference. I have met some of the finest people, and I get letters from them, I get emails from them. They're just some great, great people, and I want people to know that I feel that way.
Thank you. We appreciate that you see the love that we have and the passion for what you did. And, a lot of times people in your position, they're like, yeah, well, it was a dumb movie. I could care less. Just give me $20. I'll take a picture. I'll sign an autograph. Okay, kid. But I actually met you in probably like 5 years ago at a convention. We talked, and that's how you gave me your...
Where was it?
Cherry Hill, probably.
Oh, yeah, sure. Right.
Yeah. So, and you were the nicest guy. You really, really embrace people, and that's what we love about talking to people in interviews and stuff, and finding out that you are worth the attention and love that you get because you embrace it and you appreciate it, just like we appreciate what you do. And the funny thing about that is, the way this all started with you, you had zero interest in doing this movie. You were asked, you passed it up, and then, you said in Crystal Lake Memories that you eventually, started looking at the dollar signs, and you were like, hey, look, I did it for a paycheck, and you had no interest in it. So my question is, you had all that hassle with Joe Zito, you weren't into what you did, and then years later, what made you embrace being Jason Voorhees? Like, what turned it around and you really took in what you did then?
This is what I can tell you. After I finished it, maybe 8 months or 9 months after I finished it and it came out, I started getting calls from different producers all over the country wanting me to come to one of their conventions, and I said, well, I really don't do that type of work, and I don't have an agent that represents me that way. I have a theatrical agent, and I said, I don't know that I would work for anything like that, so I'm going to have to decline. And I kept doing that. 20 years went by, and I got calls and calls, and I just said, again, I'm sorry that I don't do it, but I'm sure there's other guys out there that have played Jason that would love to do one of these for you. But that's the way I left it. And then one day, out of a clear blue sky, an old actress called me, and she said, Ted, you don't know me. My name is so-and-so. And I said, well, I know of your work. And she said, well, I am going to New York to do a convention. And she said, the producer there asked me if I would get a hold of you and see if you would like to go. And I said, well, I don't do them. And she said, well, can you give me a reason? And I said, well, number one, I don't want to fly 5 hours to New York and 5 hours back. That's 10 hours in the air to be there for 2.5 days on a nickel and dime operation. And she said, well, that's where you're wrong. It's not a nickel and dime operation. And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, your pictures can sell for $20 to $25, and she said, I think you do very well. And I said, well, thinking and doing is two different things. She said, well, would you go for a guarantee? And I said, well, yeah, I'm not an idiot. Certainly I'd go for a guarantee. So she said, well, how much do you want then for 2.5 days to guarantee that you make? And I said, well, and see, I did not know how the conventions were run. And I said, well, I'd want an airplane ticket there and back. I want my hotel room paid for, and I want per diem, and I want a $5,000 guarantee. And
wow.
And she said, well, that's kind of a big package, but she said, let me put that to the producer, and can I have him call you if you'd like? And I said, sure, it's fine. So 20 minutes later, he called, and he told me his name, and he said, Ted, he said, we always pay everybody's airplane fare, and we always have a nice room for them, and we always pay per diem. And he said, I will give you a $5,000 guarantee. And he said, do you have a computer? And I said, yeah. He said, well, he said, are you going to be busy in the next 10 days? And I said, no, I don't think so. And he said, well, I'll have a contract on your computer, and I'll have your airplane tickets on your computer. And we had a deal.
Nice.
So my wife wanted to
go. More tickets.
Right?
Well, yeah, well, I called him back and I said, now I'm not trying to dig into your pocket or anything, but I said, my wife would like, because she is from New York. And he said, well, it's not a problem. He said, well, I'll change that, and you'll have 2 tickets.
Nice.
So I thought, gee, what a nice guy. That's another, $600 or $700, whatever it came to, I don't remember now.
Right.
And then you called him back and said, first class, by the way.
No, I didn't. The motion picture business does... They really do patronize you to a point where you're spoiled.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, we went, and I think I made something like $12,500.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
So it was way over the 5,000.
Oh yeah, and
Wow, great.
So then I did one more here in Los Angeles. The producer here in Los Angeles got a hold of the producer in New York, and he gave him my phone number. He said, well, it's right here in Los Angeles. Would you go to that? And I said, well, heck yes. I couldn't wait to get over there. Well, I took my wife with me, and who do I meet but my agent, and he had a partner at that time. Mm-hmm. And he said, is anybody representing you? And I said, well, there was a girl that called me for the first one I went on. I don't know whether she's an agent or not, but I owe her my allegiance until I find out whether she's an agent or not. Mm. And he said, what's her name? And I told him. He said, she's not an agent. She's just an actress that was delivering a message. Yep. And he said, I'd like to represent you. So I said, well, let's talk about it. And that's the way it evolved, and just exactly word for word how I'm telling it.
Wow. That is, I got to play Jason. I mean, Jesus Christ. $12,000 for 2 days. That's awesome, man.
2.5. Don't lose that half a day.
Yeah, right?
Well, don't misunderstand me. Everyone I've gone to has not been that kind of money.
Right. Yeah, right.
But,
well,
that was the first one, and well, not only the money, but the people, and I hate to be redundant, but I am. They were so nice and so kind and so considerate, and not Ted. They weren't saying, Ted, hire you, Mr. White. Everything was Mr. White. And I thought, my God. And another thing, now that I'm thinking about it, I wore sport clothes. I wore a suit coat, slacks, and because on these other engagements that I went to and spoke at, of course you dress for them. Right. And I did dress for this, and when I got there, I was completely outclassed in as much as everybody else had Levi's on, a T-shirt, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the other Jasons. Yeah. Well, I felt that we were not giving the people, that are coming to us for our autographs and photographs. They perceive you to be from Hollywood, right? In the motion picture business, something that they would like to have done. They idolize you in a different way. Mm-hmm. And I felt that we should dress the part. And consequently, from that day on, I have always dressed the part. I've either wore a suit or a sport coat and slacks, and I never go in Levi's. I just don't do it. I try to give them the image they want to see.
Right. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, and see, that's a weird thing, too. Like, I'm not necessarily one to go to conventions and stuff like that, but there is a need, me and Alex have talked about this before, where people that you idolize or that you grew up watching and stuff like that, like in particular, because, Part 4 is my favorite and stuff like that. That's why I was just so excited for this interview. I don't know, I'm just trying to come from a fan's perspective. I don't know what it is, but it's just something that, call it, check it off your bucket list or what, but just to be in the presence of something like that is just so cool. And, I think it is what it is, people love your portrayal of it. And, like you said, you treat it with respect, with everybody with respect, and you give everybody time and talk to them. And I think, that's what it's all about, I mean, hey, we love you, and it's one of those things where, I am so happy right now, to be perfectly honest with you, just to get to talk to you. Nothing crazy. Just
what a nice compliment. That's a lovely compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, you really are a nice guy. It's hard to believe you killed so many kids.
Well, now since you've said that, I'm going to have to show you the other side of me.
Yeah.
No,
don't do that.
I was in Nashville, Tennessee. And we were very crowded, and a lady came to my booth and had two young children with her, and she's looking at pictures, and she would hold a picture up and turn around and face across the aisle to the other set of booths. So they were 20 feet away, and I didn't know what she was doing. And she'd lay that one down and pick up another one, and after about the fourth or fifth one, she said, would you sign this to Bob? And I said, yes, I'd be glad to. And I said, is Bob the one you were showing the picture to across the way? And she said, yeah, that's my husband. I said, oh, wonderful. Tell him to come over. I'd like to meet him. She said, oh, he won't come over there. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, he won't come over here. I said, well, I'll go over there. She said, no, he'll run. And I said, what? And she said, he will run. He can't get near you. And I said, well, surely he knows that I didn't actually hurt or maim any of those children that I was working with. That,
right.
You know, that's all choreographed, and nobody got hurt at all.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't believe that. And I said, well, all right. I gave it, and the guy, she took the picture back. He looked over at me and made a nod, and they walked away. I never did have a chance to shake his hand or talk to him or anything.
He really was scared.
You know, some people, in their not in real life, but in their imagination life,
right.
And in their when they're asleep and when they have dreams and so forth, those dreams become real. And if some of them have watched the movie that I did and have dreams about it and still frightens them.
That's great. You know, you have a lot of stories about what happened on the set of Friday 13th. Weren't you like claustrophobic when you were in that freezer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been weird, right? Because when you film something, it takes like an hour to shoot a 10-second scene.
I'll give you a small, quick story about that. We were at a hospital that had been condemned because of the earthquake, but the morgue situation, the morgue part, was all intact, and we had some very young girls there, and they were working as nurses, and I was laying on a stretcher and supposedly dead, and one hand is sticking out from under the covers. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And that one hand is, you see a finger move just ever so slightly. And then this girl is walking beside me, and she's pushing the gurney I'm on, and they're pushing me into the that little 4x4 enclosure where they put all the dead people.
Yeah.
And it was so solemn in there, and there was no laughter. Nobody was having any fun or anything. And I thought, well, this is a great time for me to do something. So when she put her arm on her hand on the gurney to push me, my hand was only inches from her wrist. I waited till she got the gurney going, and then I grabbed her wrist and sat up, and she screamed and fell over backwards, hollering. And they cut the camera and said, what in the hell is going on? And she said, he grabbed me. Zito said, you know, he's not dead. She said, he was supposed to be dead. I thought he was dead. Well, the whole crew, we got into a laughing mode, and what was going to take an hour and a half took 3 hours and a half because everybody got so tickled over it. And when we'd get started, then somebody would break out and start laughing again. And so we'd go over and over until we finally got it. So I was not endeared too heavily with the crew at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know, huh? Wow.
But there were some funny times, and that was one of them.
Yeah. And it's, everyone knows what's becoming like legendary story of the argument with you and the director about the girl in the water. Now, we all heard that. We heard all that kind of stuff. But I have one question about that. In his reply in Chris Lake Memories, he said he only remembered you saying that you were too cold in the water. And, like, is there any truth to that? Like, or was he just...
Let me tell you something. I had a wetsuit on underneath my costume.
Oh,
I could have stayed in that water 48 hours.
Oh, okay.
And not once it was ever mentioned me being cold in the water. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even in the water when all this happened.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the beginning of this was her out there in a little rubber mat, boat, whatever it was. It was some kind of a round object. And she had a bikini on. It was in, I think it was in December.
Yeah.
And it was very, very cold. And they shot a couple of other shots of movements and different things, and her waving at somebody or hollering for somebody. I don't recall exactly what the situation was at that time. And they had wasted probably 30 or 40 minutes doing all of this, and she was turning blue.
Yeah.
And she got up right by the camera. She was still in the water and got up by the camera, and she said, could I please get out for a minute? I'm very, very cold. And he said, no, we're changing film, putting new film in, so just stay there. And she started to cry a little bit. And I was standing there, and I asked Joe, I said, Joe, could you please get her out? I said, the girl is really very cold, and she's upset. He said, no, I'll handle the directing. You just stay do the stunt work. And then I got a little upset. And so I said, Joe, either get her out or I'll walk. And he said, what do you mean you'll walk? I said, I'll walk off the set, and I'm done with this movie and you. You can't do that. I said, don't bet me I can't do it, Joe. Said, I'll be gone so quick you won't know what happened.
Yeah.
And, and he did. He had the boat pulled in, and I got her out. And I want to tell you something that 90% of people don't know. I just worked with her for the first time, for the very first time since we did the movie. I went to Florida, and she sat next to me in the next booth, and she saw me on the airplane, and she said, Ted White, I can't believe it's you. And I said, yeah, I'm a lot older, aren't I? She said, yeah. She said, my God, she said, I didn't know you were going to be here. I heard you were, but they weren't sure whether you were going to be able to make it or not. Well, anyway, we had our tables was right next to each other, and she said, I will never forget what you did and so forth. I said, well, you know what, honey, it wouldn't have made any difference who it was. He had no right to treat people that way. You know, these were all young kids. A lot of them were the first time I ever worked in a movie.
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
And he had no respect for them. He just, he wanted to get his movie shot, and he wasn't going to waste any time, and that's the way it looked.
The one thing you had, when you had empathy for these kids, you mentioned how, like, they were only making probably $400 a day or something like that. So if you look at that and you think that that's a pretty low number, what did a stuntman make in 1984 compared to an actor?
Well, I had a chance. I don't know whether you remember this or not. Do you remember a TV series called Adventures in Paradise?
Yes, I heard it.
Gardner McKay was the actor.
Yep. Okay.
Well, prior to him getting that movie, my theatrical agent was the Louis Schur agency. And my man that took me out was Wilt Milnick. And he took me over there, and we did a film test called The Cowboy and the Lady that ran for 3 minutes. And from that, they wanted to put me under contract to do that series. And at that time, it was supposed to be a black and white series and a half an hour long, which they changed it just before they started to shoot. They changed the pilot and made it an hour long and in color. Well, they offered me a contract of $350 a week. And I said, oh, no, I can't take that. And my agent said, why? I said, well, hell, I got married, and I got 2 kids. I got 2 car payments, a mortgage payment.
Right?
And my wife goes shopping, every other day. I said, I can't live on that. And he said, well, Ted, maybe next year, if you're successful, you'll be making $2,500 a week. And I said, well, then I could live on it, But I said, I can't live for a year on that. And I said, not only that, then you got a guy who's going to take 10%. And I said, what's left over? Then the government takes their percentage. I said, that's not enough to pay my car payment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I turned it down, and Gardner McKay got the show, and lo and behold, I doubled him.
Nice.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, see that? You hold out, and you're the right talent. You're irreplaceable, and look what happens.
Yep. Exactly.
You know. Speaking of that, was there ever a point in your movies, because you're a stuntman, but is there ever a point where they actually got a stuntman for the stuntman because they didn't want you to get hurt, even during some of the scenes? Does that ever happen in movies or no?
Yes, it does. It does.
Wow.
I did Silverado. I don't know if you ever saw that movie or not.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Well, and I played a part of Hoyt, the ranch foreman.
Oh.
And
wow.
There was some stuff in there that we had to do that at the very end of it, what was the black gentleman's name in that movie? I can't think of his name right now.
I'm not sure either.
Anyway, he's on top of a building shooting a rifle and hitting different guys that I'm the foreman of that ranch. And I crawl around and go up the back stairs and get on top of the building, and I'm about to shoot him, and he turns and sees me, and then he shoots me off at the back of the building. Well, unbeknownst to me, they hired a stunt double, and I didn't know it. And now I'm up on top of the building, and Danny Glover, that's his name.
Oh, Danny, okay, right, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I looked over, and I saw this buddy of mine that I've known for, 30 years. I said, what are you doing up here? He said, I'm doubling you. And I got I said, doubling me? He said, yeah. Because he had on my double clothes. And I said, get the hell off the top of this building. And he said, Ted, I'm serious. They're not going to let you get shot off the building. You still got a lot of stuff to do. I said, go get that director. Well, we had the finest director in the business. There's none better than him. And he says, Ted, he said, we can't. I said, listen, I've been doing stunts for so many years, and this is a little nothing thing. This fall off the back of this building is nothing. Don't embarrass me by putting somebody else up here.
Yeah, right.
He said, if that's the way you feel, he said, now what happens if you get hurt? And I said, I tell you what, if I get hurt, you can keep all my money and not pay me a dime.
Nice.
I believe you. So we shot it, and it was over with.
There's no big deal.
But that does happen every now and then. Not too many times, but it does happen.
And you're okay, right? You didn't have to pay him the money?
Yeah, I didn't have to give him the money.
That's awesome. The Hollywood has changed so much.
It has.
Yeah, you were in the 50s, you were in the 60s, or straight through, you've been working. So I have a question that I just wondered what you'd be thinking as a stuntman, at the time you did it. Now that movies are so technologically advanced and all this, special effects and how they can make you look like you're flying and whatever, do you wish that you could be starting your career in today's Hollywood, or are you glad?
I've got an answer for that, and I want you to hear it loud and clear.
All right.
No. I'm glad I started when I did. I'm glad I worked my way up from cardboard boxes, doing a high fall into cardboard boxes, into now we have air mats that are 40 by 40, 15 feet high.
Yep.
You could come down on your head and not get hurt. So that's
Right.
not really true. But no, I've enjoyed the challenge it's been to stay alive and stay healthy and go through the hard times to the good times. I can say this, my last big major feature that I did was Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And since then, I've declined to do anything else because I'm now 87, and my hands, I have arthritis in my hands, and I can't trust myself behind the wheel of a car doing 80 or 90 or 100 miles an hour.
Right.
And so I have to just say, no, I can't do it anymore. That's all. But I would not trade with any of those guys and be starting today. Like I know a lot of young boys that are starting today, young men starting today in this world of high technology. They're going to do well. They're going to make good money, and they'll have a great time. But I lived in the era with Clark Gable, with John Wayne, Victor Mature, Rock Hudson.
Oh.
And to me, those big guys made my career. And they kept me busy for 50-some-odd years.
Right. Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. Exactly. It's known, or I don't know if it's rumored, you were asked to do part 5 and 6, and you refused, and then you said later on you regret it. Is that true?
That is true.
So when you passed up 5 and they made it and it came out and it was what it was, and then they came back to 6, what made you pass up a second time?
Well, number one, it was automatic. I was working on a feature when they called me. There was no way I could get away at all. I was tied up on a feature and I was under contract, so I had to finish out what my contract was, and that interfered with their starting date.
Okay.
And so that's what happened there.
Yeah.
I don't even know who did 5 and 6. I really don't.
C.J. Graham probably was, he was 6, and Tom Morga was 5?
See, Tom Morgue is another stuntman.
Yep.
Nice guy.
Yep.
Nice man. And he is my size.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, people love you so much that they would love for you to do the next Jason movie.
Yeah, right?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm beyond that.
Oh, you could pull it off. Come on, Ted, you could.
I think you'd have to talk to my wife about that.
Oh, man.
You know what? If I could go back 30, 40 years and had seen some of those films in my early years, I would have accepted those, and I would have done them. And had I done them, now I think the real Jason and the whole group of us is Kane Hodder. What a guy he is, and his portrayal of Jason, people just go wild when he's on a convention. I mean, he has lines of people just can't wait to get to his booth, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, but Dan, tell him who the real Jason is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, Kane's great, but hey, it's Ted White 100%.
You are the definitive greatest. You are a legend and an icon, and you made that character what it really is, and it's gigantic, and it's all because of you, man. And that's why we're so honored to have you on the show, dude, and we really appreciate you coming on.
Don't tell the people how much money you're giving me now to say all this.
We'll discuss that later.
All I know is he doubled it.
Yeah, he doubled it. Yeah, thanks again, Ted, though. We really do appreciate it, and you're the best, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, this is a highlight of my life, sir. So thank you very much.
What a lovely thing to say, and thank you so very much for the opportunity to be with you guys for this small time we've had on this little phone. If ever again it comes up and you need me, well, just give me a call. If I'm not working, I'd be glad to do it.
What? Can you just say that again, please? No, I'm just...
Yeah, we need that on record.
Well, thanks, Ted. Like I said, we really appreciate it, and you will always, forever be the definitive Jason.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, boys. I appreciate the phone call, and good luck to all of you.
All right. Thanks, Ted.
Have a good one, Ted.
3 times before, you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror. But this is the one you've been screaming for. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason is back. He moves like a shadow, dark and silent.
Sorry you changed your mind?
He never utters a word. He doesn't even seem to breathe.
Where the hell's the corkscrew?
He simply, mindlessly, mercilessly kills. But now, Jason's reign of terror is over. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Friday, April 13th, is Jason's unlucky day.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter, 1984. The budget was $1,800,000, and that's only estimated, and it grossed a whopping $32,600.
Wait, did you say $1 million?
$1 million, and it grossed $32,000.
Well, that's just depressing as hell.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
Well, why not?
I mean, even in 1984, $32,000 is not a whole lot. Although, going to the movies back then.
Yeah, well, so obviously we already did a Friday the 13th retrospective, so we are slowly remaking our own radio show.
Yes, dude. And they're bigger and better, and they're grainier.
Yeah, see, this is one of the shows that we did right. I think that was a decent show.
And now, plus, I get to talk about them, and Friday's my favorite franchise. So
thank you.
It kind of made me sad that I missed out on the first one. So.
Well, here we go. By the time we're done with this one, you're gonna wish that you missed out on the second one.
I don't think so. It's not like you're gonna be trashing part 3.
Your head's gonna spin by the time we're finished here.
All right.
It's gonna explode like it did in the original version of Friday 4. Oh!
Wait a minute, what does that mean?
Wait, didn't he do that? Wasn't it like with a laser gun that he fucking his head up?
What?
Right? Am I right?
I don't follow anything you're saying.
Jarvis? Jamie, don't laugh at me. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, it was not a laser.
What was it? It was a laser. It was it was a laser. It was a banana laser.
It was a banana laser.
Well, what? No, I
Now,
forget.
what I want to know is that a laser that
Is in your pocket?
Hey,
is that a laser that is shaped like a banana, or is it a laser for cutting bananas?
nobody knows. That's the whole fucking point, I think.
I think it's a sexual reference. For example, shooting ropes.
Wow.
Oh.
It's disgusting, I know. All right. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Okay, we had part 1. Really no Jason. We had part 2, the birth of Jason Voorhees as the killer. We had part 3. Okay, so it gets better.
Dude, that's when he got the mask.
The mask. Oh, he got the mask. So that was the best one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was fooled by the other 90 minutes.
Not 2, it's not 4, it's 3.
Come on, it was in 3D. He got the mask.
Oh yeah, those are really great 3D effects.
3D.
Those wires and
You wouldn't know because you didn't see them. I did. I was there.
That rat, the snake that jumped out of the cage and the wire that propelled him. That was fantastic shit, man. That is really paying attention to detail.
It was cutting edge back then.
And it's cutting wrists now if you watch it.
I like to kick.
All right, well, let's get into this one. So what happens, the reason I said all that is because what they do is they start this one off by giving the highlights of all 3 of those movies. And this has to be, guys, I will say this, no regrets, the greatest opening montage to any horror film ever.
You want a motherfucking montage. Montage!
Well, what are some other opening montages to which I can compare it?
I don't have any, but
Okay,
I
well,
guess that's why there's number 1.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm right. So why are you arguing with me? All right. That. So what I like about this, now we got, I want to dissect a couple things that people probably never really cared about. Kind of live the movie, walk through the movie and live it. And one of those things is, when they get to the hospital.
I love it. Dan laughs every time.
It's always funny.
Doesn't matter how many times you do that, he laughs every time.
He might laugh if I do it in 10 minutes, and I'll laugh if he does it in 27 minutes.
That's a gift that just keeps on giving.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's like the Jelly of the Month Club.
Little Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving all year round.
That it is, Eddie. Edward. All right, so they're in the hospital, and they wheel Jason past a room, and there's a girl crying, and a lady consoling her. Do you think that was one of Jason's victims, relatives?
Possible.
I assumed.
Yeah, no, you think they would? Yeah, they probably wouldn't care. They'd probably just have a floor for the morgue and shit like that, so all the bodies would go there. So yeah, that makes sense. Good point.
Right away, we get into really great characters. Axel and his girlfriend.
Axel.
You got that workout video, and I have a little bonus cool thing for everybody. That workout video, I am in possession of that.
No way. Is it Linnea Quigley's?
No.
No, I'm in possession of that.
Yeah, number 666.
That's right.
But I have a question about that whole thing, with Axel. I might have brought this up before. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Why would, if you're getting ass, why would you, flip the TV back to that as to say, that would be something you'd be focusing on other than a hot girl on top of you? You know what I'm saying? It just seems so stupid. Oh, hold on, I gotta change the TV back. Who gives a fuck?
Dude, I've actually done that. There was a time when I was with a chick, and we were watching a movie and or TV show, and, you're watching the movie, she starts leaning over on you, starts rubbing you. Mm-hmm. I strategically knew what scene was coming up, so I waited to press pause until one of the hot chicks were on the screen. Then I did, and proceeded from there.
What do you mean? She wasn't hot, or you needed that?
Oh, she was hot. I just wanted a little extra.
What the fuck?
What's wrong with that?
that to me makes no sense, dude. If I'm getting with a chick, dude, that remote is fucking the other side of the couch. Like, I could care less. Like, I'm all about it. I'm not looking at TV unless it's porno.
Yeah, but I got with her 100 times already.
That's true.
But Dan, you're more sensitive though. Alex is a dog.
Alex is like, hey baby, Sports Center's on. Get off me.
yeah, I'm wearing a rubber.
Yeah, sure. It's one of those new invisible ones, so that it's more romantic.
I just never got that, but okay, you did that too. All right.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay.
Sorry, man, I did it, man. But what I was gonna say, we are in possession of that video, and it will be added to this show on HorrorBid when we post it, and we're gonna put it on our Facebook regular and group page. This is gonna be a big Friday 13th Part 4 celebration. That video will be out, and you will get to see it in all of its glory. And if any of you assholes jerk off to it,
more power to you.
Don't turn on Show 62.
Hey, you know who's going to be really excited about this show?
Who's that? Not me.
Tristan.
Oh,
Tristan!
Feldman.
Tristan. This is a highlight, because this is when this guy was cool, man.
Oh, snap.
I mean, I just think it's so strange. At one point in this movie, he's asking this guy, come upstairs, I want to show you what's in my bedroom, and then one day Michael Jackson asks him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, oh man, you should, the jokes were flying courtesy of Patrick last night as far as that goes, but,
that wasn't original?
When he was watching the naked chick through the window, he's like spazzing out on the bed. It was, to me, I think that was perfect though. I mean, that was a young, overexcited boy with hormones raging and not knowing what to do with it. You know what I mean?
I still do that.
Hormones? Jamie, how do you make a hormone?
Oh, snap.
You kick her in her...
Did you have to give the punchline?
I had to give the punchline. What if everybody didn't hear that one?
It took it to a whole other level. That was great. See, Alex, we are laughing at your jokes. See, man?
See, there you go. Come on, I got a couple. What, it's 61 shows, I have, 12 good jokes?
Yeah, but at least you made Ted White laugh with the Feldman thing.
Do you think Tristan was offended by that?
No, dude, no. Fuck no.
Dude, I bet you when Ted White said that, Tristan crushed his DVD and said, "You're dead to me."
I have a feeling Tristan, whenever he posts something or comments on anything, he's just fucking cracking up the whole time. I mean, that's just the feeling I get.
You know, you got a great death. Axel gets a hacksaw or something, some kind of saw, run through his throat, his head twisted off.
And where in the hell did he get that?
Oh, well, they probably saw bones off with that.
It was a random... I know, but it was a random choice. You know, I mean, he has a lot of things to choose from.
Like what, slam his head in a coffin?
Well... yes, why not?
Well, he is, after all, the Super Bowl of self-abuse. So.
Super Bowl of self-abuse.
Yeah, that was...
You know what's weird? I'm going to give this girl credit. Her name is something Morgan.
Captain?
I wish. Either way, I'd spend the night with it.
Right? Get a hell of a hangover.
Yeah. The thing I'm going to give her is this. When she gets to the door and she's like, "I'll tell you where I'm going crazy!"
Zip!
It teetered on bad acting and realistic.
Well, it was very slapsticky, and I felt like that line was completely out of place.
I don't. It was? No, you're right. It was, but I think she sold it.
I guess I just wasn't buying.
I can never gauge those things because, like, it always seems like the further back you go in movies, we've talked about this before, the more hokey things are. So, like, when I see... So, like, I look at that, like, oh, I'm sure there's other movies out there at this time that, like, you know, that's, like, a big thing, and this is a horror movie, so there's not a lot of it. But, you know, seeing something in it, I don't think about it. I'm just like, yeah, it was made in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, I don't...
Of course you give it that pass. You get the opening shot of Trish and her mom jogging, and then you immediately get a point of view shot. and it's somebody looking down on them jogging from the top of a hill. Now, a big question that everybody comes up with is, if these people were living on the outskirts of Crystal Lake, why didn't Jason kill them in the last 10 years? Like, how did they even make it this far? So, Jason's looking at them jog. I guess one argument you could say, well, he just got out of the morgue. He's probably still up there looking down. He's not going to run down and kill him.
Yeah, but before that.
Yeah, before he got to the morgue.
Right.
He's still, I mean, I guess he escaped the morgue and headed right back to the same spot, right?
People who live in the area know the legend. You know, they're careful.
That's what, see, Jamie, you hate the remake, but that's the closest they've came to an explanation. They're like, people around here know to stay out of those woods. Like, whatever.
People around here don't go missing. They're gone for the dead.
Exactly. So
well, we get a glimpse of that in part 3 when he kidnaps Chris.
They know, the only legend they know is that the mom went crazy and killed all these kids. At this point, Paul said Jason, some say he didn't drown, his body's never recovered, he lives off the vegetation, blah, blah. But he never killed anybody, so no one ever claimed he killed anybody. He's just a frightened retard. He's a frightened retard! So, at this point, he killed in part 2. The next day was 3, and the next day was 4. So there is no legend. It's only what's in newspapers at this point, which Mrs. Jarvis had.
Right.
And it said the murders, the massacre or whatever, killer's still missing.
Right.
That's all you had at this point. So there's no, it's not like everybody should know not to come here yet.
Well, no, and I don't think people should know not to come there. I think people who already live there just, know what's up.
Well, they think that the mom died. They think the mom got her head cut off.
And I just want to steal one of Adam Green's comments that he made on that fucking awesome commentary there, but it's so true. Dude, if you're a kid and you're into making horror masks and all that, you would fucking know of a serial killer in your town, dude. I'm sorry. Like, you would be very aware of it. If you're Feldman making all those masks and lasers blowing up his head that never happened, if you're doing all that shit and you don't know of a serial killer in your own fucking town, dude, come on, dude. Like, what are you doing? Up your game.
That's true.
And then he found out in the paper, and he's like, oh, my God. And then he, I like how he quickly shaved his head, too. Like, he knew what to do. He knows what's good.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that like we got to it the first time, and I'm going to say the same thing. But I want to hear what Jamie thinks. So I guess we'll give a little nod to Banana Laser one more time, the girl on the side of the road eating the banana.
Yeah, dude, that was hilarious.
I love the fact that, see, I think Joe Zito gave I don't know if did he write this? Whoever wrote this gave the girl a sign that said, to pick her up and bring her somewhere, and then the other sign said, fuck you. Like, it just seems like every single character had so much realism to them. And that really sold it to me. They gave Jimbo a past, breaking up with BJ Betty right away. You got this asshole Ted, who's punching into the computer that didn't exist in '84.
Sounds like he is a dead fuck.
Are you sure it didn't exist, Alex?
Well, you could play Glaxon or something, but you can't do anything else.
Glaxon.
What is it called? Gaxon? Zaxxon.
Doom?
By 1984, we could do quite a few things with computers.
Oh, yeah, you could make a woman. Didn't Gary and Wyatt show us that? I'm going to ask Robert Russler.
Yeah, ask Robert Russler.
Yeah, he wants a woman. They fucking make him a missile. All right, so you got...
In 1984, that's when that's when Gilbert. That's when
Gilbert Gottfried became big?
No, Gilbert made the cartoons dance on his computer screen in Revenge of the Nerds.
Ooh, wow. Well, then you know that we're advanced.
Well, see, movie computers always do things that we can't do in real life. It's hilarious.
If my computer today can make Kelly LeBrock, I'd be shocked.
Dude, going back to Gilbert Gottfried, dude, I sent Jamie some questions for the interview that we had. I was like, yeah, so you want to do the Gilbert Gottfried one? She's like, yeah. Do you think I could put this in my own words?
I said, do you mind if I paraphrase?
Yeah, you mind if I paraphrase this, Dan?
Well, could you imagine me reading Dan's copy? It just wouldn't come out right. Like, it
Yeah, Jamie's like, hi, so fucking, do you fucking, like, have Gilbert Godfrey in fucking every fucking movie you fucking do? Fucking. Dude, it was so good, dude. That's for Mike Merriman.
Merriman.
All right, so the kids drank Coors in this movie. That's something I really noticed.
Is that what they were drinking?
Yeah, you know how like we're very into live in the movies. I can't like it's easy with Tom Atkins. Miller, anybody could do Miller. Miller time, it's Miller time. That's fine. Sure. Did you ever drink the original Coors, the banquet beer?
No.
Good. It tastes like somebody emptied condoms into a urinal.
Oh, dude.
And then somebody sucked it in their ass by like sucking in air and farting it into a bottle.
Yeah, I'm with you so far.
Okay, and I'm going to stop there because I think that's about...
People must be at condoms.
They should have done Budweiser. Coors or Coors Light. I'm drinking Coors Light right now.
I like Coors Light, dude. The thing about Coors Light is I can drink so many of them.
And that's what I love about it.
Pound them, dude. It's great, man. Coors Light's a good summer beer, actually.
Dude, it seems to be a good spring, fall, and winter beer.
Alex, hey, any port in a fucking storm.
That's right.
Wagon.
When those kids showed up to the rental house, Mommy Jarvis looked out the window and looked very concerned, worried, all these other kinds of things. And how did you guys take that? I always felt that she didn't want her kids to be influenced by bad party kids.
Yep.
That's exactly what I thought.
It was no, hey, Jason's gonna get him. Nope, just damn kids in their fucking marijuana smoke.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it. But you can see how other people think the other side of it too. But let's face it, I mean, if she's a worrywart like they portrayed her in that one fucking look, like, oh my god, these kids are gonna die, well then she would have fucking made some preemptive strikes to get her fucking family out of there once Jason was coming through.
Yeah, and you know what? She didn't, and here's the weird thing, there's almost no defense for any of her look, because had she been a strict mom, wouldn't she say, all right, kids, I need you in here for a minute, and kind of pulled them away from the house? Like, she didn't control them.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she was just, like, looking and hoping they used their heads, I think, is what really went down. So, they all go walking to Crystal Point, as they say. And that proves that they are near Crystal Lake. And you get the Double Mint Fresh twins.
Double your pleasure.
Oh, you double my pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Not that they're hot, but they have nice bodies. I'll give them that much.
Yep.
Then we get to the great skinny dipping scene. There's a lot to talk about here. Number one, Ted has no penis.
I'm glad that's the first thing you noticed.
Now, Jamie, as a chick, you're going to tell me you didn't notice when he took his clothes off and ran in, there was no penis to be found between his legs as he was running in.
Actually, no, I didn't look.
You know, you're just trying to make me look gay, and I get what you're doing.
No, I'm serious. I didn't.
You're digging your own hole.
I always look at the women. I never look at the men.
But you didn't look at Kevin Bacon's penis when he was standing on the dock?
Well, you can't help but look at that. It's going to punch you in the eye. I mean, Jesus.
Do you think Teddy was a little too enthusiastic about swinging on a rope and jumping in the lake when he was like, all right!
You know what, though, dude? Go back to what I said before. That goes back to 80s cheese, dude. Like, to me, it's hilarious, but to me, that's fucking typical 80s shit, dude, you know? Like, you see that in 80s movies all the time, dude.
Yeah, could that happen today? Do you think if they made a movie today, anybody would act exactly like that?
Dude, I would just, slowly look over and just stare at him like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm friends with you.
And we have a great sex moment. The hottest girl in the movie bears all. Ode to Samantha. Let's give it a second. 1 second of silence.
That's all I need.
Okay, I'm done.
Good for you.
And dude, how hot does Trish look when it looks like she's only wearing that white shirt?
Hey, what's the deal with Trish, by the way? Jamie, let me get your opinion on this. What the fuck? Like, is she a virgin or what? Like, does she not want to party? Like, if I was her, I'd just be like, yo, college kids, beer, across the street, like, let's do this.
She's one of those responsible kids.
She's frigid?
No, I think she's just a good girl. Yeah.
I do love... You know what?
No, a quote-unquote good girl. I was a good girl.
I know. I know that was
I seriously was, and I'm not even lying. I seriously
Yeah, when did that end?
Around 20.
Nice.
That's a good age to let it all go.
Yeah. Well, that's when I got my first taste, and from then I never looked back. But
First taste. Off the side of the road, giving handjobs for crack.
She had a... So we get introduced to Rob Dyer.
He's killing me. He's killing me.
Is Sandra's brother from part 2. And then we get to party night. Now it's time to party in Friday 13th, the final chapter. And I'm sorry, guys. This party, I mean, no offense, but I'm sorry. Every time I see the shot where they seem to spike the bottom of the beer and then hold it and go, hold on, go! And then they chug the beers and everyone's like, yeah! All right, yeah! I'm like, wow, we're partying now. Like, I'm sorry, man. To me, I just expected a little bit more. The music, you know, and here's the thing, like I talked about, Paul is such a douchebag. He's always putting down this guy Jimbo like he's like an asshole. Everything he does, he can't ask a question, he can't do this, can't do that. He puts music on, Paul looks over like he's an asshole, like, what is this music? Then he puts on some fucking Frank Sinatra shit or something like that. Yeah, right, like, oh, I'm sorry, dude, you're the cool one. If Paul's supposed to be the cool guy who's banging a piece of ass, I'm sorry, 100 times harder than he could get in real life. Sorry, Paul, you're not really like a... I'm not believing in that you're smashing that. Sorry.
Right.
I just don't believe you could rock Samantha. Now, Dan.
Yes.
Would you take Paul's sloppy thirds? Because she was going to bang Ted, then she moved on to Paul, and now she moved on to Jimbo. Is there any dignity in being third place?
Well, it matters if she actually did it or not, and she didn't do it, so fuck no, I'm tagging it.
Yeah?
Fuck yeah.
Me too. I admit, I have no dignity when it comes to that.
When shit like that happens, dude, you're using them just as much as they're using you. It's a mutual thing. It's all gravy. Keep it moving, you know? Shit like that happens, dude.
Jamie, see, you're a girl, so... I say that a lot.
Well, I'm just glad that you make the distinction.
Yeah, I realized you have no penis, just like Teddy. Now, here's the thing. And you could be honest with just me and Dan. No one else is listening.
I'm always honest.
Okay. What goes through your mind when you're saying, well, I'm being used. I'm just a sea dumpster tonight.
A fucking sea dumpster.
I'm not going to say the word because it's so vile. But I'm going to go ahead with this.
Cum is vile? You said cunt earlier.
You're a cum dumpster. Fine.
No, you see...
You cum guzzling queen.
No, that's what I'm not thinking about that because I don't give a shit what their motives are. It's my motive that matters.
Is that how it works? Really?
Yeah.
Is that how I got laid all those times?
Yeah, it's because they wanted to. Trust me. It's not. It's not that because you're so smooth that you talk us into it. If we.
All right, so Jason makes his first big move of the movie. He goes into Rob's tent and breaks his gun in half and crumbles up his map.
I'm gonna fuck your shit up.
I like how he crumbled the map up.
I'm angry.
You think you're gonna take this fucking map?
You think you're gonna find me? You think the X marks the spot, bitch? I'm gonna tear that shit up.
Jason Smash.
The way Ted White played it, say when he, like, his fast jerking motions when he's looking at Trish and Tommy and shit like that, like, just all his movements, really. I could see him just fucking barreling through some shit. Maybe not crumpling the fucking map.
I'm gonna crumble his map up while I break his gun. Like, why not just kill Rob?
The Jason Hunter. Motherfucker got killed in a basement and cried about it. You know what I mean? Like, he was kind of a counterpoint to Trisha's goody two-shoes, you know, like when he kissed her on the cheek and shit like that. But why was he there?
Forget about him. Why was the dog there? That talk about a character with no arc. The fucking dog, dude.
The arc? What do you mean the arc? He fucking jumped through the window.
That's his arc? Dude, we pay so much attention. Hey, Gordon, we'll talk later, Gordon. And all that kind of stuff, dude.
Yeah, could he have said Gordon any more times than he did? Right. Hey, Gordon, love you, Gordon. You're my favorite dog, Gordon. I'm going to take you for a walk later, Gordon. Have some water, Gordon. You need to pee, Gordon?
You have a relationship. We understand. You know his name. You're into the dog. Okay. Yeah. That is wild. And the thing is, it's like, well, if you're going to do all that, if you're going to, like, highlight this dog and really put a spotlight on him, where's his arc? Where's the part where he jumps out and bites Jason's arm, like Dan said in the original show? Like, you think he's going to do something.
Oh, fuck dogs in movies. I wish he would die.
Yeah, except for VHS 2, I guess.
Oh, I do want to go back real quick to the girl with the good girl. Well, who was the good girl? The one who was the good girl through, but I can't remember what her name was. She was hanging out with Samantha, you know, and she's all just... She seemed rather naive, and she fucks the guy, and
she just couldn't resist.
She ruined it. She broke the rules and had to die.
She needed a good dickin'.
Man, he was pressing her ass up against the glass, dude, and you know this guy wasn't wearing a rubber.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have shower sex, man? It is not fun. It seems like it's a good idea. And when you're washing the chick and you wash her boobies and all that fun stuff,
right?
That's cool. But then you go to put it in.
Like the way you said that.
It's like putting your pecker in a rubber hole. Because the water actually washes away the net.
When I have shower sex, I don't go in there to get clean, because you can't, both people can't get under the hot water. Somebody's always on the outside, and so I always give it to the chick, and I'm like, I'm like sitting in the corner like, this sucks, man. Tom Tucker's kid, I don't wanna.
But dude, you can't give the chick the water because your back has to block the water, otherwise it runs down her back, and you keep flushing it into her.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. At that point, when you're just banging in the shower, it's like I'm sitting there thinking, well, this sucks. Why aren't we just banging in the bed or anywhere? Yeah, you're right though. And then the rubber hole aspect.
Here's the burning question. Now Dan brought this up. He said it's not a what the fuck moment, but it's a what the fuck when Ted pulls out the Stag films. Now, here's my question. And let's just get right to the source material. These people, when would you say, Jamie, you're a good, I don't know, whatever it takes to answer this. When do you think that these movies were shot?
When do I? What do you mean by when?
Oh, Alex, you are amazing. Your grammar is impeccable. Oh,
Jamie, you're a film historian.
You mean I'm old? Go ahead.
When do you think this movie? When do you think these chicks, this whole thing was shot? These Stag films in this movie?
I would say the early 30s.
Wow, I was gonna say that.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 20s or 30s.
Yes. Yeah, okay, good. So I guess we're good. Whatever it is. So
we're equally capable.
Here's my question. Now, I'm just trying to get real and logical here. These people were living in the new advanced world just like anyone in the present, correct? They didn't know they were old-fashioned and classic back then.
Yeah, they didn't know they looked horrible then. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So how did anyone get off to this shit at any point in history?
Back in the 20s, you couldn't even show your ankles without causing a scandal. You remember those ridiculous swimming costumes that they had to wear?
Like Marilyn Monroe had to wear?
Yeah, well...
Until she broke that mold.
That's what excited me. The very first porn was wrists and kneecaps. True story.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes.
Well, here's the thing about Jason killing in general. I love that Jason has the ability to kill, and those murders go unnoticed until 80% of the crop is dispatched. I feel like if I went to kill anybody in a house, that I'd get like caught in 2 seconds.
Just hiding them?
Yeah, I'd be dragging them down the hallway, and then somebody would see the blood trail or something. Like, I just don't ever think I could get away with killing like at least 8 or 9 people before someone even knows this is going on. Okay, but we have to, not to rip on the movie, but we have to talk about one thing that makes zero sense. Okay. We have the classic combo platter kill of the corkscrew to the hand, the machete to the face, Jimbo kill, where, Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew? That whole kill.
So good.
Then, we immediately get, right after that, Jason is standing on a roof, hangs out by a window, hoping and praying that somebody will come by it. The one twin comes by, he pulls her out, we get a phenomenal throwdown on the hood of a car, or the roof of a car.
Boom! Windows blow out.
Oh, the blowout was amazing. We go from Jimbo to the window kill. Rob and Trish look at the artist's description. Tommy walks through the basement trying to fix all the lights. Right after that, and this is after the window kill, you see Jason leaving the scene of the crime of Jimbo's kill. Then he goes right into the living room and kills Ted through the projector screen.
Well, oh shit! So he didn't. Oh wow! So they cut another kill in the middle of him going from the kitchen to the living room.
Why would you not walk from the kitchen and then go kill the guy he was talking to right in the living room? He's right there. Why would you leave the house, climb up a roof, throw a girl out a window, then walk back downstairs, then come from the scene of Jimbo's crime, which he didn't hide? So Jimbo was there. He just risked the other guy coming in that kitchen the whole time?
Dude, that is a problem. I never fucking noticed. All the times I watched it, never noticed that. You're right.
Next time you watch, he's going to pull his machete away from that scene of the crime and then go kill Ted.
The thing with that, though, is it's not like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, he could have done that. You see what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I'm calling bullshit. He couldn't do that. He was in 2 different places at the same time.
Dude, it was after the shower sex scene, too.
He could have, though. He could have done it. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't he just go there? You're right. But in defense, like, if I were to defend it, he probably thought, well, this dude's the fucking most drunk out of anybody. He's cracking up. Like, I'll deal with him last. Like, I can just take care of him after these guys.
You can say that, but he's right there. You can walk up to him and ram it. Before he even realizes what's going on, you can ram a knife up his throat.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't buy it myself. I'm just saying if I were to defend it could be that point. But yeah, no, you're right, man. You're right. Why not go from fucking Crispin to the fucking computer, dude?
Well, dude, even if you say that, why leave that scene? Why not come off the roof, walk in the door, and then go kill Ted?
Right.
Why still leave the scene? So there you go. So, you know, we just said the sex scene in the shower. That also happens before that. And, dude, does Sarah not look smoking hot with just that towel on, man?
Smoking, dude.
Her body is hot, dude. So she gets an axe through the door, through her chest.
Look.
We'll get back.
That's random as fuck, dude. Isn't it? Axe through a door in your chest. Think about what you just said. That's insane.
I don't know. I like it because it's unexpected. Because I think at that point, no one sees that coming.
Yeah, you think she'll just pull in the knob and turn around and run somewhere else.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, she can turn my knob any day.
She can slob mine.
Slob on my knob, like corn on the cob.
I'm going to find a new dungeon.
So Trish and the loser Rob run home because she said Tommy's home alone. They run home, and then they leave him alone again. Then we get to the great kill where he goes, I gotta go get the knife. And he runs downstairs. Jason kills him. We talked about that. Jason goes after Tommy and Trish. He smashes a TV on his head. Now, here's one of those great moments, man. Jason's laying on the floor. Trish tries to walk over him. Ted White, man, is a seasoned actor, dude. This guy has been in movies, like we said. John Wayne. He's been in movies with Rock Hudson, Corey Feldman. And he sits there and he just plays it so right, dude. He knows exactly what he's doing, dude. And the things I love about Jason in this movie, you know, in part 3, a lot of people like to highlight things like, oh, well, look at how he walked away from Vera after he shot her. I'm sorry, I thought that was a terrible walk, actually. He walked like,
Yeah.
You leave Richard Brooker alone. Best Jason ever.
Then they say, well, what about when he pulled his mask off, when he was hanging from the noose? And those are the two scenes that sell it. They like when he breaks the door and runs after Chris in the dream. But here's where I think it sells for Ted White. I was not bullshitting this dude when I said he's the greatest. Jason runs in the door, and Trish turns around, and Jason just stops.
Yep.
Then he stops again at the top of the stairs, dude. I think Jason just loves the adrenaline and the rush of knowing.
I agree. Fuck yeah, dude. He's fucking Jason. He kills. That's what he does. Of course he gets off on it.
Just like Michael stared and he tilted his head to look at his work.
Right.
I think Jason, when he looks at his prey and he just stops, he just says, let's do this, bitch.
And think about it, man. Yeah, exactly. And
Hatchet 3?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Fuck yeah, dude. With all these things, there's this underlying, besides like Freddy, you got like Leatherface and Michael Myers and Jason. There's this underlining like either stupidity, like in Jason's case, like he's a fucking deformed mongoloid or
he's
whatever
a frightened
the fuck
retard.
He is. Yeah, retard. And then you got Leatherface, who's also a retard. And then
is Michael a retard?
Well, no, but
he didn't talk for like 15 minutes.
Michael is not retarded.
No, I didn't mean it like that, but they all have like something in common that like, you know what I'm saying? So Michael was in the asylum the whole time and he stopped talking. That's creepy enough. But you could kind of apply the same thing to all of them to kind of make them not normal, would you say? Like,
well, that's they're all demented. Thing. Well, Jamie, didn't we hear a show that said that Michael Myers had retard strength?
Yes, we did. They directly referred to him as retarded, and that would be incorrect.
Who would say that?
They wouldn't be caught dead on this show. That's all I know.
I don't even think Jason is retarded. I mean, he's deformed, yes, but he has his full faculty. You can tell he plans, he thinks, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying retarded people don't think. What I mean is
it's daytime. It's nighttime.
What? Yeah. If you're retarded...
He's well aware of everything he's doing and everything that's going on.
So, okay, Jamie, I posed this question to Dan a year and 2 months ago, so I'll ask you. What exactly was Tommy's plan here? He looked at the picture. Jason looked a little wild, like crazy guy. No hair. He was a little kid. So Tommy says, well, I guess he's the guy killing people. Trish just left with Rob. So I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to bick my head to look like his hair.
That I'm calling bullshit on. Did you see him shaving his head? Like all the hair? You can't go bick bald from Joey Lawrence.
yeah, you gotta use a buzzer, bro, to get to that point.
Dude, yeah, and I shaved my head too, and I'll call bullshit too. That is physically impossible to shave your head that way.
Tristan's like, Feldman can do anything.
Feldman has razors made of gummy bears and gold.
Those were from Krypton. So he shaves, he bicks his head to look like Jason, comes downstairs. Luckily for him, they were down there at that point. Besides saying, Jason, Jason, don't you remember me? And that in itself, what was his plan exactly?
I don't fucking know. I have never been able to figure that out. I think the kid just went off his rocker. And it doesn't even make any sense, really. He didn't have, at this point, like up until this night, it's not like he had any personal stake in what was going on. Yet, he reacts as if...
He knows what Ginny did. He knows,
Right. I mean, I've been down with this shit. It's like, you're 7.
Right.
What do you know?
Well, in all fairness, he was 12.
I know, I'm just...
Michael Myers was 6.
He was a kid.
And then we're like, well, he was going to distract Jason. Well, okay. What if he came downstairs and Trish was already dead?
Right. Yeah, like he had all that time to go, oh, he's after Trish. Hold on, Trish, let me shave my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're going to distract Jason, why not bang pots and pans really loud and just get him to look over there while Trish does something?
Dude, you're so fucking right. Like, I always had a problem with that, but you're absolutely fucking on point, dude. Like, what the fuck was that, dude? Like, there's no way that, like, what the fuck did he had planned, dude? We're gonna have Feldman on and ask him.
But the whole horror world accepts it. And the thing is, I want to know what went on in the writer's head. Like, well, what exactly? Well, Tommy's gonna. He must have wrote he's gonna do this to do this to do this. He must have had some kind of like logic to this. And it just makes no sense. So let's just get past that. And I'm going to be super picky here, man. This is you're going to think, wow, you are too much.
Oh, don't worry, dude. I already think that.
Tommy said that. Then Jason turns around and Trish swipes his face with the machete, knocking his mask off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. While Jason was still turned away from her, nobody saw his face. The camera deliberately goes and shows the machete drop.
Mm-hmm.
Then the camera shows Jason still turned away. Then he turns around and looks at them. And then the next shot is Trish grabbing her face like, all shocked.
Bugging. Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been a billion times more effective if Trish swiped him with the machete, he turned around, then turned back, she looked at him, and then dropped the machete out of shock at what he looks like? Because why does she drop the machete? She swipes him in the face, knocks off the strap, and then just lets go of it and drops it on the floor? That was clearly to set up just so Tommy could grab it and kill him.
Right.
Why not have her drop it out of the shock of looking at look at how crazy he is, how crazy looking he is?
I think that would have been better. Yes. Maybe she got a glimpse of Tommy as Billy Corgan in the corner over there, and it freaked her out.
Tonight,
the world is a vampire.
You tell me he doesn't look like Billy Corgan.
Wow, you mentioned my favorite modern band.
I took my love and I took it down. Greatest fucking cover
ever. Turn around. That is great, dude. Yeah, and I wonder if Matt Wiesel ever bought a Zeitgeist like that.
Matt Wiesel?
He asked me if that was worth buying. I said yes. I don't know if he got it. Yeah, so, the machete falls. He picks it up, grows 4 feet tall. Taller.
That's my biggest problem with it, dude.
Yeah, he grows 4 feet taller and swipes directly at Jason's face. Then you get the great scene. And what I noticed this time around was when Jason's sliding down the machete, if you look at his right eye, it's actually moving around like a real person.
Yep, and if you look at the left side of his face, it's kind of buckled in and funky looking.
Yeah, it doesn't look realistic. It's funny, people praise that as if it's like the greatest, like, amazing thing, and honestly, it looks like a guy falling on a rubber mask.
I do think it's a good scene. I mean, I do really enjoy that, but it's flawed.
It's 80s. It's 80s.
Hey, stop saying that as if everything in the 80s is flawed.
It's funny that you said that, though, Alex, because they sold this movie on Savini, dude. Like, this was Savini and the Friday the 13th.
Yeah, he comes back for this one.
Back together, yeah, and he said he was coming back to kill his baby or whatever. So that's funny that you said it looks fucking bad, because it's Savini, and this was, like, probably at the peak of his shit.
The coup de grace of Savini.
Yeah, man, but that whole scene is just, you're right. It's just, it's flawed from front to back. But I'll bring back what I said earlier, and if anybody's fucking listening and you know what I'm talking about, back me up on this. But originally they had a scene where Tommy was building a fucking laser or whatever the hell it was, dude, and they were gonna use that, and I think he exploded his head or something, dude. But they decided that's clearly too sci-fi and too stupid, so they took that out and put this scene in, which, kill by machete, Jason,
right.
It makes sense, right? But with saying that, what you just said, maybe that was it, dude. Maybe they had to just fucking come up with something real quick, so that whole, machete drop in, why didn't you just, it might have been, like, not a reshoot, it might have been, like a reshoot, situation where they just had to fucking bam, 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 bang it out, you know what I'm saying? So, but,
We should have asked Ted White if he had a headache after that scene.
We should have asked him about the laser.
Yeah, right?
Somebody's got to know. Fucking get at us.
So what do you think about that? How historic that Jason was killed by the very machete that killed his mother.
Wait, it was the same one?
I don't know.
I was like, what?
Let's just go with that. Well, it was killed by the same weapon.
That's true. Oh, it's perfect, dude. Perfect ending. And if they went with the other ending, that would have been bullshit, and that would have made no sense. So yeah, it made sense, except for the fact that Feldman grew 4 feet.
They show up in the hospital. Tommy hugs Trish. He looks into the camera. He's nuts. We should have seen Tommy Jarvis as the killer in Part 5, but as you all know, it doesn't turn out that way.
And that just goes to show you how big fucking Feldman was at that point, huh?
Yeah, he couldn't even do it because he had to do Goonies.
I mean, and I say how big he was, like, that was pretty much the beginning, but, dude, he was on fire in that little thing. He's like, hey, guys, I'll give you a few days on set, but that's all I got, you know?
Yeah, right? Yeah, hey, listen, he was a great child actor. Yeah. There's no emphasis on child.
Well, it's like this. I mean, I like the Friday 13th series, but I don't think it's good at all. I think it's just a classier B-movie franchise.
I agree.
That's all it is.
You don't think it's good? What do you mean? Good how?
I don't think it's well scripted. I don't think it's a solid story. I don't think, like, okay, Friday 13th versus John Carpenter's Halloween. Right. It's not a good movie in comparison.
Oh, the writing of Friday 13th, like I said on the show, is probably the worst ever.
I agree with you.
No, I don't think any of them, Final Chapter 2 or Jason Lives, which I think are the top 3, I don't think any of them match Halloween.
Well, part 3 was on par with Halloween.
No, it wasn't. It was just atmosphere. It was atmosphere
I'm not
and direction.
saying that I'm just saying, I agree with you. Like, technically, I think that Halloween is a better film, but I prefer Friday the 13th.
Well, dude, it all depends on which way you're looking at it. If you're looking to have fucking fun and drink some beers, dude, I'd rather
Friday
put on
13th.
fucking Part 4, right? Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but see, that's
Friday
the thing.
13th,
Yeah,
for
if you're
sure.
talking about like straight up horror and shit like that, you're right though. But dude, I'm glad you brought that up, bro, because think about how much we all talk about slashers and shit like that. All right, to me, and I want you guys, everybody's opinion on this and your perspectives, really, because we talk a lot about slashers. Would you guys agree that other than action movies like, the Avengers and the Expendables and all those fun movies and shit like that, it's the craziest you can really go within a movie? Like, think about it. Okay, it's horror or whatever. Take away all that shit. These are just stories, dude. Like, at the end of the day, you're writing a story, so you come up with something fucking off the wall or whatever, and, it may have scary aspects in it and, slasher aspects where people die and shit like that. But mainly, dude, a lot of the shit that we all like, that I've noticed anyways, like slashers, like Friday the 13th series, they're just fucking fun, dude. But it's like, it's like an adult fun. Like, it's almost like, fucking kiddie movies or whatever, those have its place. But it's almost like this is the way to really tell a story and get away with certain things and take certain liberties and go wherever you want with the story. And, it gets put into the horror category because it may be scary or whatever. I just look at it like they're adult themes, and a slasher, as silly as they are sometimes, and, we talk about Part 3 and then Part 4 and all that shit. Like, I don't like Part 3, dude, but I would watch Part 3.
I'm insulted now. I'm insulted.
I know, right?
I only love Part 3 because the bikers, dude. That dude, I love that dude. Like, I don't know why. I just.
That's what I'm saying.
Part 3 is my favorite. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's your favorite.
I like 3, but I'm not in love with it. I mean, I like 3. I think it's slightly overrated, but I like
slightly.
it.
Slightly, yeah, you're right on that one.
That's the most overrated.
It's not as overrated as Jason Lives.
Than some of the ones.
Yeah, Jason Lives is overrated.
It's not as overrated as Jason Lives, because Jason Lives gets a little too much credit, I think.
Dude, that gets way too much credit.
There's no goddamn respect.
Pat's the aficionado on rap. So I'm going to ask Pat, what are the best... If I want to get into rap, if anybody says, hey, I hated rap, it's the same old thing, it's the same thing every time. What are your top 5 rap albums, Pat?
Oh, shit, rap albums?
Biggie, and
I literally go through this shit, like, on a fucking nightly basis, like, my 5, like, top favorite rappers. Albums,
Albums, yeah. I don't want to hear rappers, because you might hear bad albums. I want to know the real good albums. What are the...
I would say Infamous by Mobb Deep. That's my favorite. I love Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep is, like, the way they are, like, people compare, like, Illmatic is definitely probably one of the greatest rap albums ever recorded. But to me, Infamous captured it because mine, like, I'm into that, like, crazy, like, hardcore, like, murder hip-hop. That's, like, me. But that's why I think Infamous is, like, there's not a single track on that album that I skip over. Like, I put that on, and single playthrough all the time.
Okay, so I'm gonna listen to that now. See, it worked. What you just said worked. I have to hear Infamous now. Okay, what else?
Stillmatic.
Okay.
Not Stillmatic.
Definitely.
That's the one after.
Stillmatic was like 10 years after Illmatic. Fucking 94. Fucking one of the greatest years for hip hop.
Okay.
Chronic by Dr. Dre.
The original Chronic, the classic. Okay.
Yep, the classic, definitely. Probably Enter the 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang.
Yes. Wu-Tang Clan.
Yep. And number 5 is Soul on Ice by Razkaz.
Who?
What? Razkaz, you probably never heard of him. He is literally the most fucking intellectual rapper ever. He has a song on this album called Soul on Ice. It's called Nature of the Threat. It is a 7-minute history lesson of mankind.
I've heard of this song. I've heard of this.
Yeah, it is the smartest fucking song ever. Like, he is the smartest guy ever. And I don't understand why people aren't like, why he didn't blow up because he isn't like your typical like rapper now. Like, he doesn't rap about like money and partying and everything.
Oh,
like,
what a shame.
Like, he is I'd say he's probably the second most intelligent rapper ever, number 1 being Nas.
Yes.
Well, here's what I'm interested in. How come, and I'm not defending, I'm not on the other side.
Yeah.
But from what I've always heard, how come you didn't mention any Jay-Z albums? Is he not really that great?
Overrated.
To me, Jay-Z is way overrated. Yep. He
I don't like him at all. But that's
I don't either. I think he's fuck ugly and he's talentless.
Really?
I honestly do.
Dude, I agree with you. The songs I heard, I don't see anything in there.
Dead Presidents, too, the song he made, that's a good beat. I could give a shit about the lyrics. I like the beat, but he also has Nas on the fucking hook on that, so that's probably why it's such a good song.
Wow.
He's instigated way too much shit. He almost got killed by the main rapper in Mobb Deep. He almost shot him in a club. He got fucking verbally murdered by Nas on Stillmatic.
Dude, I think Freeway is better than him, dude. I mean, even Freeway, dude, like, think about it. Like, the way he raps, even, I'm sorry, dude. Fucking, and it sounds so stupid, some of it. Yo, we rise from the bottom just to make it to the bottom. It's like, what? Like, really?
Yeah, like,
but I love it.
I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Big L.
Big L. My whole crew out.
Freestyle. He has this 95 freestyle. It's him and Jay-Z.
Dude.
And Jay-Z is, like, on it for, like, literally, like, a minute because Big L just out rhymes him anywhere. And Jay-Z's
Big L,
dude. Exactly. Like Nas said perfectly. Fuck Jay-Z.
Some of my favorites.
He killed him. Like, Jay-Z threw out the Takeover, Nas put out Ether, and it was fucking over.
Right. Well, okay, I'm going to bring it back to horror for a little bit now, but keep it in rap. When a guy who's so into rap sees something like Busta Rhymes or LL Cool J in a horror movie, what do you think about that? Like,
I'm going to be completely honest. I loved Busta Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection. I loved him. Just because that's so Busta Rhymes. Just to fucking be ninja kicking Michael Myers. Like, if you think about, like, any person like him, like a hood person, they wouldn't, if a serial killer was a character, they wouldn't run away. They would fight. Obviously, they would probably, like, actually fist fight and not just do fucking imitated, like, Bruce Lee, like, movies.
Yeah, but his character was into that shit.
His character, it was a little over the top, but I loved him because Busta Rhymes is fucking awesome. I love him. So just LL Cool J for me, he wasn't really as big. I remember I was only like 4 when Resurrection came out, or H2O came out, but I have always been a hardcore Michael Myers fan. I love Halloween. I love all the movies. Number 6 I love it, but it's not as good, but I love it just because it's part of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Michael Myers is like my favorite horror like person of all time. Like,
you know what, dude? I used to say that. I I love the Friday the 13th movies more, but Michael Myers is my jam. Like, that's who I like.
I agree.
Exactly. He's like I want to say like relatable, but if I was to become a serial killer, I would emulate him the most.
Well, of course, because you don't want to be a wilderness whack job. Like,
yo. And guys,
you don't want to be a pedophile.
I'd be silent. I'd be out in public. People would be fucking generally afraid of me.
Right? Exactly. Like, that's the most relatable. Like, I told a story that it became like, know people knowing lore, just of myself when I was on this other show. And it used to be that I had a story one time that when I got into Halloween and I became into modern horror, which was Halloween. Like, I defined Halloween as modern horror. It went beyond, black and white and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even though there was, Black Christmas and maybe Phantasm. I don't exactly know what year that was, but
79.
Okay, so it was after. Okay. So Halloween is my definition of modern horror and on, and now it's actually become classic, and modern, I guess, is now Screaming on. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, pretty much, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I guess, what do we call it then? Because 60s is classic. What do you call 80s?
80s,
Nostalgic?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I would say you
classic.
guys probably know better than me because, I wasn't raised or born in, I wasn't even a fucking thaw in the 80s, but...
Dude, your dad was still shooting you across the bedroom in 1978.
On the wall? No, not me. I'm just a 5.
No, okay, so 80s is whatever. Okay, so to me, modern is Halloween. So when I first got into that, I remember me and my cousin crazy into that movie, and he was the guy in the Ghost of Michael Myers. If you guys, everybody's seen that.
Yeah, I subscribe to you on YouTube.
Thanks. So he was in that. So what we did was I watched Halloween, and I had a stereo hooked up to it. So I recorded the ending where it was all just the Halloween music. And I remember driving back to his house because I had to drop him off at that time. He didn't. I don't know why he didn't drive or whatever. But so we played the Halloween music on the parkway on the way to his house. And as I'm sitting there in the car, I'm holding the wheel, I'm driving. As that music's going, my mind went into the mind of Michael Myers, and I was
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Exactly, dude. So I understand that that's who I'd be, and it made the most sense to me until I got into Psycho. Now that makes the most sense to me.
I was just going to say, you did the same thing with the fucking Norman Bates thing.
I do. I'm a weirdo with the driving in it. Right?
If I was to be, like, if I wanted to be any of, like, the main fears, I'd be Freddy Krueger, because you can go into people's dreams, and, like, if you think about it, you sleep, like, you go to sleep, you think your dreams, like, that's, like, the safest place you can go.
Right.
And this motherfucker just comes in and just destroys it.
Invades it, dude.
I mean, for me, the two best slasher villains, everybody likes to say Jason's their favorite, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's Michael and Freddy, and the reason is that I don't root for them. I root for Jason, and to me, that makes him less scary.
Wait, but you root for him after, like what I said in that retrospective, at part 6 and on, right?
Yeah, but that's what I automatically think of when I think of Jason. Like, I like to think of the human Jason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But even then, I didn't find him that scary, because, like, in the final chapter, I didn't care about anybody but the Jarvises. I didn't really give a shit about any of those kids. I thought they were funny.
Yeah. Right,
I didn't care about them.
Good call.
But with Michael and Freddy, they're just really fucked up, and that's what makes them effective.
Yeah, they both play with you.
Yeah, they're methodic. Like, to me, Jason's just like a shark. He just attacks and leaves. He doesn't really think a whole lot. Freddy is a sadistic person, and same goes for Michael.
Michael will stalk you for a whole day before even fucking killing you.
He's playing tricks and treats.
That's what I think about the end, and he always, like, no matter how fast you run, he will outwalk you regardless of where you are.
Yeah, there was a great Facebook post. No matter how fast you think you can run, Michael Myers can outwalk you.
Yeah, that thing in Leslie Vernon.
Yeah. But the thing is, with Freddy, I'll go down as saying that, yes, I don't like any Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like, the only one I like is 2. And I don't know why. I'm sure it's nostalgia.
I like 3. I like 2 a lot. I think it gets shit on way too much.
I do too. I think 2 has the creepier atmosphere of it.
Absolutely. That was my first major interview, Mark Pat, and I love that movie so much, like Jake, that I had to talk to this dude, and it's obviously the whole controversy with the gay thing, but
I like the gay thing just because it's I don't know how to explain it. I think it has more detail. It's more complex.
It adds a little bit of the creepiness to it, definitely. Yeah, Freddy doesn't just want, like, girls. He wants, like, this guy.
Well, he was a pedophile. They never said he just liked girls. They said he mainly liked girls.
Yeah, right? Yeah, maybe he is gay.
And it ties into the possession thing.
Yeah.
It ties in perfectly. The fact that Freddy owns him in more way than one. That's what makes him so fucking scary.
Exactly. But the thing I was going to say is that, like, although I'm not into any Freddy movies, really, I don't like part 1. I know that sounds weird. I don't like it. I think it's like a cheesy shit.
I don't like the third act. That's my only problem with it. I don't like the booby traps. It felt too goofy.
Oh, dude, it's such a cheap-looking, horribly done movie. I think it's really a shit movie. I think if a better director was in charge of that movie, it would have been really good. Because but the whole point is that I think Freddy is a great concept. I think that's the greatest concept for a horror villain out of all these guys.
Yeah.
You know, out of all of them.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
Because, like, I mean, the way I see Halloween now, after you see, like, number 6, the way I see it is, like, the whole, like, mystical, like, so to speak, like, aspect is there when I rewatch them now. Like, this guy literally, like, can't die. Like,
right.
He gets fucking shot, lit on fire, stabbed. Like, he won't die. And, like, it's obviously, like, it's not humanly possible, so there's obviously some sort of, like, like, normal quality to him.
Right, something,
or
yeah.
supernatural quality, I should say.
Right.
And I think that's kind of, like, makes it for me, like, you have, like, I think, like, it was combined so well later on, like, when you look at it again, like, you had this regular just psycho was just stalking these people for nothing, and then you guys, like, this fucking crazy supernatural, like, killing machine. Like, I thought, like, it added, like, a whole new level of, like, depth to it. I thought it was awesome.
What I thought was so scary about him in the original is, you know, even though a lot of people didn't like that they explained it in part 2 why he was going after Laurie.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't ruin it for me because we still didn't know why he was the way he was.
Exactly.
We knew you know, his parents seemed normal, his sisters seemed normal, so why can't he be killed? Why is he so abnormal? Why is he so supernatural? We don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
We still don't know much about him, and it isn't until 6 where we do. So.
Yeah, well, how about this? How about it's even eerier that we don't know why
they chose him.
Yeah, well, why he can't die or anything in the first one, because you know so little about him, and it's even worse that you know so much about him as a kid in the remake and all that when he doesn't die, it makes even less sense because he became even more humanized in that.
You actually had a voice for him this time.
So when he doesn't die, it's like, well, why? Like, at least when in the original series, it's like, well, you don't know shit about him. He really never said a word. He is almost, by not saying a word, a supernatural type of thing. And when you make him so human and start it off with that, like, if he doesn't die, then why does that make sense?
Like, in the remake, like, he didn't really get shot that many times in the remake, did he? As far as I can remember.
He got shot twice with a Magnum.
Well, he got, but the thing is, like, it wasn't, like, the whole point was, like, he was, like, grazed or something like that. And, I mean, I can see it because he was supposed to be, like, this fucking beastiness of a person, like,
right.
I mean, I know it's, like, hard to say, like, obviously a fucking 357 Magnum would take anyone down, but, I mean, I could understand, like, where Rosman is trying to come from, like, he's so, like, big, like, the realism is that, like, a person that big wouldn't go down with just one shot.
Yeah, they made it physical.
Yeah, you never really know. Like, it's a gun. A gun can fucking take anyone out, like, regardless.
Yeah, really. It hits your heart, you're dead. I don't care.
Exactly. Like,
yeah, you're right.
About the whole supernatural thing, that's what I love about the original because it gives you a false sense of security because you don't know until the closet scene that he's anything but just a person. You think he's just some dude in a mask. And so it gives you this false sense of hope because you're like, well, at least if Loomis catches up with him, he'll die, right?
Right.
And then it turns out, fuck you, you're wrong.
Yeah, and you think, if she stabs him in the heart,
yep,
he's probably gonna die.
That's what made that creepy. Is like,
yep.
You know, it's just some random dude. It doesn't matter if he's just got a fucking mask or whatever. But about Freddy, guys, about his backstory and shit like that. What did you guys think of Never Sleep Again?
Oh, the documentary, it was great.
It was better than the movies.
Hey, what the Alex? That's what I was gonna say, dude. That documentary, I will watch that documentary over the movies.
I'd rather watch that than sit through all those movies.
Well, Alex, I'm sorry, Dad.
No, I was just going to say, I really like the Nightmare franchise. I just hate 4, 5, and 6, really.
Well, what's left?
I know, right?
For me,
Dream
4, 5,
Warriors
6
is the
like,
shit.
They were like 280s for me, those last 3. I don't understand. They were just like 2, like...
But what do you consider the last 3? Like, do you consider Freddy vs. Jason in that or no?
So, to me, Freddy vs. Jason is kind of like, I'm trying to think. Like,
Hybrid?
I think it should have been done at a later time.
What about New Nightmare, dude? I love that movie.
Oh, I love New Nightmare. New Nightmare's the smartest one.
Yeah.
Exactly. I saw that one after the first one, before I even saw the rest of them. I fucking loved it.
Dude, that brought Freddy Krueger fucking back to the forefront, man. He was scary as fuck in that movie.
Yeah,
But
he was.
the documentary, though, Never Sleep Again, everybody loves that. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's kind of, since that was made, has that not become the template for fucking, not...
For documentaries, yeah.
I mean, everybody was disappointed with His Name Was Jason.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when they saw Never Sleep Again, and then they found out the people behind it are doing the Friday one, they're like, okay, this is the one we want.
And we just posted that new news on that Friday one, and it's going to be 7 hours.
I got some more news, guys. I heard back from the writer of Halloween 6 himself, and the writer of the director of Never Sleep Again, and this new one coming out, Dan Farrens.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So, would you like me to read it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
This is me first. I go, hey, Dan, so excited about this news. I was wondering if you would like to come on the show, the Skeleton Crew, to promote it. Hope all is well, man. Rock and roll. Thanks, Dan. Sure thing. I'd love to participate in your show. Just tell me what you need and when. Things are going to be pretty hectic for the next month or so as we race to the finish line on CLM.
Crystal Lake Memories.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe sometime in July would work. Also, since you were on my pay it forward list, wanted you to know that you should not purchase a copy of the documentary. Not saying why, but, well, I've got connections. So, what I'm saying is we got Dan Farrens coming on, dude, fucking to explain and fucking talk and shoot the shit. And he wrote, Girl Next Door, too. Or, I'm sorry, he adapted the screenplay for that fucked up movie. Jake, we've talked about that movie before.
Oh, the Jack Ketchum, yeah.
Jack Ketchum novel, yeah, that he wrote the screenplay for. But yeah, man, so Dan Farrens is coming on the show, dude, and I am just so fucking excited because, dude, we talked to Lito, too. I don't know if Lito did the music. Lito did the music on Never Sleep Again, and I know he works with Dan a lot, so I think he's I'm not going to quote him on that, obviously. I'm not going to quote, anything, but yeah, I think he's doing the music on that, too, so that documentary is dude, it's going to be phenomenal. Like,
that's going to be great.
A Friday the 13th version of that, and let's face it, I mean, I think, can we all agree that Freddy's not our favorite? Jason probably is over Freddy.
Oh, yeah. Even though Freddy's a better concept, Jason actually just did it better at the end of it.
Well,
Yeah,
Jason's everybody's favorite, but I like Freddy more. It's just
Yeah?
me.
I like Jason's just like sheer like no. I think my favorite to his is in number 7 where like the bitchy girl is like rotating the house and he's just there and he fucking hums the axe into her head and just tosses her across the room. I love that.
Yeah.
Behind a TV.
I can't believe you picked out 7 out of all the movies.
I love violent shit just because like I just think it's I don't know why
No, it's great. No, dude, that's the greatest kill of that movie, honestly.
it really is, and I love like the other one in I think it's number 6 maybe I might be 7 too, where he just fucking shoves his fist into this guy's spine, breaks his neck, and then takes the machete.
That's 7, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, dude, I love that fucking scene. And this documentary, too, is going to fucking cover everything, dude. I mean, think about how long the Freddy one was. And
that shit
this
was like
is
4 hours.
Yeah, but, dude, this is how it fucking... I think it was actually longer than that, bro.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying, though. Like, this should be what documentaries should be like. Fans doing the shit and doing it right. And he told me, dude, this motherfucker got interviews with everybody, dude. I mean, like, from the top to the bottom, dude. Corey Feldman is fucking in that shit, dude. Everybody, bro. This is gonna be probably, I'd say, probably, if not the best horror documentary, definitely out of the big 4 and all documentaries and all that shit, dude. This is gonna be the best one, because Dan Farrens also did His Name Was Jason, but as I talked to him before, and he's publicly stated this too, it didn't turn out the way he wanted to because of, one, restraints, and I guess I want to say something with the studio. I could be wrong, or something happened where it wasn't his total vision. So with the Freddy thing came out, boom, that's what they're going for. It's basically a fucking a version of that. So I'm pumped, man. And Dan Farrens is the fucking man, dude. He's so chill, and I can't wait to have him on, dude. Alex, Jamie, get ready to geek the fuck out. We're having him on in July.
Yeah, and that's one of those interviews where I'm not gonna prep too much because I'd rather just ask him like, so what's gonna be on this thing, this Crystal Lake Memories, what's gonna be on it, and from there I'm gonna do my questions off of what he says.
Dude, this motherfucker wanted Stern in Halloween 6, dude. Like, Halloween 6 would have been so fucking tight if they did it exactly the way he wanted to. Just like, I recently read, I was telling Alex this, I recently read the script. Has anybody read the script for Scream 4? Williamson's original fucking Scream 4 script?
No.
Dude, alright, here's how it went. Jill fucking doesn't kill Sydney, but she thinks she kills her. Dewey comes up and, oh, we have a survivor, and, it's Sydney. Boom, cut to black, and they were going to set up part 5. What part 5 was going to be is now the following. Show the following. Right. They were going to use Jill and have her get arrested, be in jail, and have fucking followers and shit like that. And they would have taken certain aspects from the following and used that for Scream 5 and then setting up Scream 6. Dude, this is what I'm saying, though. Pisses me off. Dan Farron's fucking putting Stern in and shit like that. Can you imagine fucking all this shit if they actually didn't fuck with all the writers' ideas, dude? It would be...
No, the show would be so much better.
It's unbelievable, man.
Studio interference is scary, man.
Isn't it? Yeah, but the thing is, they think they're doing the right thing, and it's like, yo, are you fucking crazy? Like, Kevin Williamson knows what the fuck he's doing. He wrote a new trilogy, a Scream 4 to set up 5 and 6, dude. Now, there's nowhere to go with that movie, dude. You can't do shit. Isn't. Except, I got an idea. Let's put it on MTV. Oh, fucking hell.
Or like a new movie, like, let's find another relative that can be a fucking killer. Like, they kind of stretched it out. Like, they stretched it even a little bit at the second one. This fucking the mother being the killer and the best friend. Like, I could see if it was more like the best friend, but the mother being the killer, that was kind of outstretched. Like,
it was.
And then the third one, the brother, I thought that was a cool concept because you find out he manipulated, like, he kind of masterminded the whole event of the first one.
That took me out of it.
Yeah, dude.
That took me out of it.
Some people hate that. I liked it, dude. I also think, though, that in Williamson's original fucking scripts, Stu came back. And, dude, as much as everybody loves Stu, do you guys really think that would have worked?
No, he was fucking dead as shit.
Cool to see. Yeah, it would have been cool to see, but it would not have been cool.
Thank you, dude. That's exactly how I feel, dude. So anyways, I don't know. That's just my little rant on writers and people coming in and fucking with them. But, dude, think about it. If they asked Williamson to come back for 5, I would not blame him for telling them to go fucking shove it up their ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever, did you guys hear, this happened a long time ago, of course, but Tarantino was originally going to pen the script for Halloween 6.
I heard that, I heard that
God,
too. That would have been
imagine, dude.
That would have been fucking nuts. Holy shit.
And I saw in an interview, too, man, he actually talked about that a little bit. And yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah, that would have been cool, huh? Because, dude, Tarantino, as you guys know, he's like an encyclopedia of fucking movies. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, wow, I know we're nothing as far as, like, people are into so many movies. Like, Jake, even Jake was like, have you seen fucking this movie? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm so out of the loop compared to some people. And then, you look at all of us, dude, and we're not even close to where Tarantino's at as a fan,
Yeah, exactly.
But, anyways.
He's, like, fucking,
he's a beast.
I know people forgive him shit for some of the stuff he makes, but he makes some good stuff. And did anyone else hear like what he plans to do with his next movie?
Which is what?
It's supposed to be another like historical one, like Inglourious Basterds and Django.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's called it's supposed to be like Killer Crow or something like that. It's about a bunch of like black soldiers in World War II who just like go ape shit and just like make a warpath
I did hear about this. Did hear about this. Yep.
Yeah, I just thought I can't fucking wait because that's gonna be awesome.
It might be like a kind of black exploitation like Jackie Brown was, which would be cool to see.
Yeah,
right. Jackie Brown
or Blackula.
Yeah.
Or Franken Black. Or wait, what was it? Blackenstein.
We were just talking about in the previous segment here too, Man of Steel. Now, and we talked about how shitty Superman Returns was and shit like that.
Yeah,
Now,
it was awful.
now, without getting too much into it, you guys, what do you think? Fucking, because it's Superman, dude, and Superman's corny as fuck. The suit's corny as fuck, and it's like it's just a corny ass character. Do you think that's probably the most difficult superhero to bring to bring it to fruition? For one, and then B, I guess, or A1, B2, 3, 6, to bring it to screen and make it, like, badass, dude. Like, that's hard to do with Superman.
Yeah, it
Right?
definitely is. I mean, people are complaining about the suit being darker, but to me, it kind of needs that.
Exactly, dude.
Needs that to work.
It needs that, like, Dark Knight, like, thing to it. It needs that realism. Like, that's the only way it's going to work today. Like, if you made it, like, the other ones, people are like, oh, like I said, like you complain about the suit being dark. If you made that light colored and then you made it like the concept that it's in now, I guarantee you there would be massive people giving it shit and like saying it fucking sucked. Like,
yeah,
you just can't win anyone over these days. Like, it really sucks. But I think they have it in the right hands. I definitely think it's gonna work.
Right, and then that's where, yeah, man, that's why I'm so excited for that movie, and, there's just, I think we really do live in a golden age right now. We got all these horror remakes, and, Evil Dead just came out, and you got all these sequels being made, and Phase 2 of Avengers, and Man of Steel coming out. Iron Man 3 just dropped, and that's like an afterthought, you know what I mean? It's like, so much shit, you guys, it's almost like, wow, like, I'm not even talking horror-wise, I just mean in general, like, if you're a geek, dude, this is fucking our time, dude.
Exactly.
What other time period could rival right now? Somebody please tell me, where it even comes close.
There was a time where superhero movies were, like, obsolete, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like, in the 90s, in the 80s, like, except for Batman and, like, Superman, like, they weren't doing the Marvel shit back in the 90s and 80s, and when they did, they kind of were shitty.
They had,
like, the Punisher was bad, and
Punisher with fucking Dolph Lundgren.
yeah.
Oh, God, dude. I forgot all about that. Dude, that Thomas Jane movie, though, I love that movie.
Oh, my God. That fucking, I love that movie. That's why I think Punisher is probably, like, my favorite of all the superheroes, next to Blade.
How was Warzone? Did anybody see the second one, Warzone? I never saw that.
It was corny as fuck.
Yeah. I liked it just because it had guns and people getting fucking
destroyed
by bullets, but it was not really a good story.
Yeah, so I know we're going off on a little tangent here, but I just think the state of movies now, dude, with Carrie coming out and fucking, even just talks of another Halloween. I mean, there were times where, there was nothing going on, I mean, just
that's what I think is weird. Like, we're at a standstill right now with three, like, major slashers, like Freddy, Jason, and Michael. Like, we don't really have, like, another movie, like, planned for any of those.
TC3D, that was amazing.
Texas Chainsaw.
It was a different movie. I mean,
it was different.
I love the second one, to be honest.
Honestly,
it was the second one. I love the fucking craziness of it. I love Dennis Hopper in that too. He's the fucking
Corny
man.
motherfucker.
I knew we were getting shit for that.
Yeah, right.
As far as Texas Chainsaw 3D goes, I didn't like it, but I will say it's not my least favorite, nor is Next Generation. That would be the beginning.
Word. Oh, wait, what's your least favorite?
The beginning.
Yeah, the beginning's my least favorite. I can't stand that movie. I really can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
I forgot. Did we say something good about that or no?
I liked it.
A lot of people say good things about it, and I get it. I understand. It's just I don't.
You didn't like it, Alex, at all. You had nothing to say about it. You're
really?
Just like, yeah, I don't even remember this movie. Yeah, whatever. Didn't the biker? Yeah, whatever. I don't even remember.
Oh no! At the end of it, I was just so tired.
It was just one of those movies, though, that for a lot of people, it's just like, oh god, we got another one, and that has to do with mainly the resurgence of horror or lack thereof, and just kind of rehashing shit. Like, okay, that first one, badass, that first Texas Chainsaw remake, I liked it, but with the beginning, it just turned. It was like the same fucking thing, really. So it's like, okay, whatever. So this is what I mean, like.
Melodramatic as fuck too.
It was a good point, but but now it's just like, wow, dude, like, okay, yeah, Leatherface, fucking 3D, whatever. But even just the fact that they're so self-aware. Like, look at what they did with Leatherface, like Jamie said, fucking walking down with Winnie the Pooh, and it's like, I love that shit, regardless if it's a great movie or not. The state of horror and the way it's looked at, it's starting to get a respect, and not like that respect isn't turning into like, oh my god, we gotta be serious with it. It's actually the opposite, where you get fucking Texas Chainsaw 3D and shit like that. And to me, it's not the worst movie. And like I said, you got Carrie coming up. You got fucking dude. Even I'm not even talking remakes. Even look at fucking what is it? The Conjuring coming up. It's like, are you kidding me? And then with Bates Motel dropping and shit like that. Come on now, like. I'm sorry, man. It's almost like making my head dizzy just thinking about it, dude. There's so much fucking shit. And that's why, like, it doesn't make me mad that people fucking rag on everything, but it's like, yo, man, just fucking sit back, relax, and count some stacks, dude. Realize that fucking all this badass shit is going on around us. Even, like, me and Alex were talking about the first X-Men. They didn't embrace the whole superhero thing. They shied away from it. And they're like, oh, we're trying to go real with it and, you know, not give anybody too many powers. And it's like, okay, flash forward, fucking Avengers. Okay, and finally everybody's starting to see, oh, I get it now. Like, okay, we're supposed to embrace it. And same with horror, you know? And you can look at Leatherface and whatever it was, but, dude, that shit's fucking great, dude. And whether you like it or not, dude, the state of horror, the state of fucking geekiness and all that shit is at an all-time high, and I fucking love it.
Exactly. You know, I think the only Marvel movie that it really works with realism is Punisher and Blade. Yep. Those are the only two ones that you can really get into, like, a real
Marvel
sense, because it's like they're just like so like gritty.
What do you guys think about Marvel acquiring the rights back to Blade and Ghost Rider? Do you think it's necessary? You think they're gonna do anything with it, or?
I think it's good that they have it, definitely. As long as they have like the right people for it, that's all you need.
Yeah. With Ghost Rider, I'm not that excited, only because I mean, if they do it good, fine. But the last two,
yeah.
But
well, even Mendes was there.
Yeah, if they do it right, though, that'd be pretty badass to see. And Blade is good. I mean, I like the first two Blade movies. So.
Well, Blade was not a part of the Avengers, but he was in that universe. They crossed over with Blade a lot. So
yeah,
that's just
Marvel.
You
like,
know?
He's there.
And, you know, so anyways. But, yeah, you know, talking about the state of movies now, dude, I'm glad you guys came on the show so we can fucking rap about it. Yeah, man, anytime you guys want to fucking come back, you know what time it is.
All right.
Time, son. I'm on that shit.
And just in closing, I just want to ask you real quick, for the Psycho retrospective, did the review of Psycho 3 make any of you two like it any more or less, or give it any more thought or less?
Yeah, I haven't. I've only seen the first one. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really gotten them, but I did make it a point. I am going to try and watch them.
Wait, so you listened to the whole thing and still didn't watch them?
Yeah.
What is that like?
I honestly, like, the way it is with me, you can say all the stuff you want about it, but it's nothing until I actually see it yet.
So you heard the whole retrospective and detailed conversation about it, and it didn't bother you that you don't know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Excellent. I love it. Okay. Well, guys, thanks, like Dan said, thanks so much for coming on, and it's been great, and this is what it's all about, man.
Definitely. Thanks for fucking having us.
Hey, yo, me and Ghoul are going to the Metropolitan House, son. We're going to catch some motherfucking ghosts this Halloween, cuz.
I'm down.
Yeah, man, we better see some video casts of that shit.
I can't guarantee any ghosts, but there will be ghouls.
There will be ghouls.
I just want, yeah, there will be a ghoul. I just want to see the ghoul staring at a building and staring for 5 minutes. And
yeah, I'll be like, yo, Ghoul, you want to hit this blunt? And he'll just look at me all creepy, like...
No, I honestly don't. I don't know. My friend said they said legit. I was just staring at the fucking building for like a solid 5 minutes.
You better do it again for the video. That's all I'm saying.
I'll try.
Well, and hey, we'll be right back, and hopefully we can have you guys on sometime soon, and you know, we'll catch you on the flip, bitches. Any last words, guys?
Skeleton Crew sucks.
Nah, Skeleton Crew fucking rules. Matt Wessel, you're the shit.
Matt Wessel!
Matt Wessel, my mistake.
Listener letters! Listener letters!
The ghouls are on the rise. That's what I'll leave you with.
Yeah, bitch. And Jack Courthouse, what do you have to say?
Yeah, this is Jack Courthouse, and I just want to say thanks for having me on. I love the Skeleton Crew. It's the only podcast I listen to anymore, and it's a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on. Glad I could talk about ghosts and movies and and streaming zombies' ass and shit.
Life.
And it was not flat.
No, it was not flat. It was a firm ass. It was great.
Excellent.
Yeah. And we fucking love you guys, and yeah.